Today we are so pleased to welcome Donovan Erskine, fan favorite and master togetherer. He brings us impressions on Life is Strange Double Exposure, as well as some thoughts on New World Aeternum. Hope I'm saying that right. And that kicks off today's very fun show. So fun, in fact, that the game that I bring today is entitled Metacritic Re ScoreGuessio, and I'll leave it at that. Use your imagination. Story time. We cover Sakurai is building a game, and he has been for a couple years now. What could it be? Nintendo Alarmo. We've got a review. Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. We've also got a review. The Jackbox Survey Scramble, a review. Wizardry, Variance Daphne, a review. And that one's for the phones. Zero Sievert, a review. Sonic Cross Shadow Generations, or is it X? Well, whatever it is, we have a review. On to some news. Metal Slug Tactics, it approaches. Finally, I've been looking forward to this one. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 comes to PC early next year. Netflix and Ubisoft shut down some game studios. Huge bummer. However, Hazelight is doing just fine, celebrating 20 million sold for It Takes Two. We've got a heck of a lot to talk about on the Tesla front. That's at the back half of the show. Otherwise, that will do it. Thank you so much for being here as always, and we're going to kick things off right now. Here we go.
Lawgiver asks, the entire chatty, when do you think is a more fun time to play a game? When it's brand new, just came out, and the hype is strong, or months after? What do you guys think?
I think it depends on the kind of game. That's kind of a cop-out answer. But I think if it's like a big...
Yeah, you running for president or something? What is this?
Like well, I think if it's like a big like narrative-driven game, you know, like franchise entry, then you do kind of like being a part of that conversation. But if it's more of a like RPG or something that's really like gameplay-driven or decision-driven, there are a lot of benefits to come into it 3-6 months later, a year later. If you're somebody who likes to like look at guides, or even if you just want to avoid spoilers, and it's no longer like the hot topic of discussion, you know.
But if you're trying to avoid spoilers, wouldn't playing it as fast as possible be the right strategy?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I just look back at games that I played way after they came out, like The Witcher 3. I played like a few years ago, and when I played, it was just nobody was talking about that game, so I just kind of played through completely isolated, like in a vacuum. I wasn't
That's
opening.
True. Donovan was able to look up a guide without fear of like seeing a tweet or something.
Yeah, there were no like random headlines, ending explained, anything like that. Although I guess
he doesn't have to fear tweets. The only tweets he sees are about the election. It's not like...
Well, he said 3 years ago, to be fair.
Still.
Yeah, I'll say like The Last of Us 2 was probably the one where
that's a big story.
I was dodging spoilers, and unsuccessfully, I think, to some of them. And I still kind of know, but I don't know. But the problem there was I was like dodging the spoilers because I couldn't keep up. Like, even if I wanted to play that game, I was not going to be able to keep up. So I kind of just said, okay, I'm not going to play this game, and then I will just get back to it later when nobody's talking about it.
That game had
years later, and I've never played it. So
that game had like malicious actors around it, though, like people who were very mad about the female protagonist. So they were like replying to every Last of Us tweet with spoilers of the story. So yeah, it was like that game it's a good one to bring up because they were like, there was like a spoiler campaign around that game. I think Tears of the Kingdom's another one of those where there's like that entire ROM leaked before the game shipped. So like the entire story had been leaked 2 weeks before the game even came out. So I think it's more, instead of me timing when I play the game, it has more to do with me just not being on the internet, which is almost impossible when you run a website. But like, I think it's a balance of like avoiding spoilers on the internet more than, finding the time to play the game. But like, I guess to Donovan's point, like games like, yeah, there's like some minor spoilers in Astrobot, but like, I don't care, cause I still want to play it.
Yeah.
I feel that way about Odyssey too. Or like a game like Mario Maker 2, there are no spoilers, so I don't think that matters. But to the point about like a live service game like Mario Maker, you want to play those games when other people are playing those games. Otherwise, they're not going to be as fun. There's not going to be like the same level of like cool things to try out. So I do think like coming to Rocket League 7 years late, you probably missed out the magic of Rocket League. You know what I mean? Like it's not really there as much as it was in its early years. But like conversely, like Fortnite, you can jump in whenever and have a good time. So I think it's like, to Donovan's point is right. So I'm going to vote for him.
Yeah, I vote Donovan too. And the other thing with, and I think The Witcher is a perfect example. I played it late too, maybe like 4 years after it came out. And like it was totally sanded down and running very well on console, which it did not when it launched. And I find that that's my reason lately for taking my time.
That's a good point.
Cyberpunk probably trained me on that too, funny enough. And I loved it. Once I got to play it and it was all patched up, and the Idris Elba one, what was it?
Phantom City? Phantom Liberty. Yeah, sorry.
Night City's this way. That was unreal. I mean, that I actually I want to go back and play it again. I was thinking about that. Anyway, I think that's a good call, Joe. Like waiting for the patches to really make this the optimal experience.
That's like the Bethesda game route, because like Skyrim a year later was better. Fallout 4 was better.
I blew it on with Starfield. Not really.
You jumped right in.
I did jump in. COVID helped, so it was my COVID game, first ever time getting COVID, and you kind of need, I don't know, a game like that. I was like, okay, this helps. But yeah, now I'm not interested in going back to it.
But like Starfield was actually shipped in the best condition we've seen from a Bethesda game in recent history. But like the one I'm thinking of is like Fallout 76. That game runs so much better now than it did at launch. And they've added a bunch of stuff to do in it. So yeah, I think it's safe to say it's a case by case basis. But when it comes to like a game that I care about the story, I'm going to try to play as fast as I can. So like right now, Metaphor is that game for me. But yeah, good question by Lawgiver, kind of proving my point that the chatty is still one of the best places on the internet to ask a question.
Amen.
There you go. It's a pretty good cold open.
Yeah, we love it.
I didn't even have to shit on the Cleveland Browns. Wow. Shack Together in America on the internet. I love that new intro. If this is your first time joining us, Shack Together is a Shack News video game podcast featuring myself, host Asif Khan, co-host John Benyamine, who's here today.
Oh, Ghost. Ooh.
Because spooky. Spooky
I like
season.
That's good.
Got candy, leaves are falling, changing colors. It's the time of year. It's the best time of year.
Like it.
Our producer Joe Stasio is here.
Boo.
Wow. And news editor Donovan Erskine, fresh off of reporting on Tesla yesterday, because that's super fun.
Yep, reported on Tesla yesterday, and today I'm here to win a trivia game.
Oh god!
Whoa! Wow! Gauntlet thrown record time.
Seriously, that's ridiculous. But before we get to this game that we're all anticipating, and I think Donovan may wipe the floor with us on, we have to ask the question: what have you been playing? And Donovan, you've been playing something that you're going to drop a review for tomorrow, I believe.
Yeah. Well, I think the review it drops after the weekend, but I'm going to write it tomorrow. I've been playing the new Life is Strange game, Double Exposure, which I can talk a little bit about because we previewed it, and the preview covered the first chapters of the game.
Leave your comments to the preview part then, so that we can post this week.
Which also, you should read my preview on Check News, which is already live at the time you're listening to this podcast. This is an interesting one because it's the first direct sequel to the original Life is Strange, which came out in 2015 and was developed by Don't Nod. This one's Deck 9, who made the last couple games in the series at this point. I know they did True Colors. I forget exactly where they took the reins over on that IP. But this one's bringing back Max Caulfield, who was the original Life is Strange protagonist. She's all grown up now. She's like a photographer in residence at a college, and her best friend gets murdered. That's like the inciting incident. It's the first thing that happens in the game, and it kind of just becomes like a supernatural murder mystery of figuring out what happened to her. Because if you played the original Life is Strange, you would know that she had the rewind mechanic, where she could like fast forward or rewind time and like redo decisions. In this one, there's more so an alternate timeline mechanic where Max can walk between two different versions of reality, and in one of them, her friend is still alive, and it's essentially her using information from both timelines to try to solve her murder. Is the story of the game, and first couple chapters I thought were pretty good. I was enjoying what I was playing. I know a lot of people were skeptical when they announced this because Life is Strange has kind of been an anthology, so the idea of kind of bringing it back to the original protagonist, people weren't too sure if there's actually a story or an idea there, if it was just nostalgia berries, which there's plenty of nostalgia berries, a lot of references to the original Life is Strange. But so far, it seems pretty cool. I mean, I love murder mysteries. If you ever watch Pop Goes the Culture, I talk about them all the time. And I think this one plays into a lot of those tropes really well. I think that the timeline mechanic is really cool, the way that they like differentiate the two timelines, where you'll notice it's very small details, just kind of represent like that butterfly effect of this one person's death having like a reverberating effect across the community. I forget her name, but they brought back the original voice actor for Max Caulfield in this, which was awesome. She's been great in it so far. It's mostly new characters, despite it being a sequel. Max is really the only returning character from Life is Strange. It's mainly a new group of people, but they do reference the events of the previous game a good bit. But I dig it. I think that folks who love and appreciate the first game, like I do, will be pretty happy with it.
Is it Hannah Tell?
Yes, that's her. Yep, Hannah Tell. Yeah, she came back for this one.
That's cool.
Yeah, you can customize her outfits in this one, which I don't believe you could do in the original Life is Strange. They give you like a bunch of presets, so you can have her wear like a chocobo shirt or like a Moogle hat and dye her hair and stuff, which is fine since you spend a lot of time watching cutscenes. So
yeah, well, that sounds cool. I guess we can look forward to your review next week.
Yeah, I have more in-depth things to say about the game in my review, which will be live in a handful of days.
And you're basically our New World correspondent too, right?
Yes, yeah. I reviewed New World in its original incarnation in 2021, I believe. It was the Amazon Games MMO that's got like a colonial theme to it. And it was a bit of a running joke of Shack News back then, but I actually ended up thinking it was pretty decent. I gave it a 7. It's the like one of New World's gimmicks is that it's like classless. You're never locked into like a class. You just kind of allocate points to specific like weapon types or armors, and then you just kind of play how you want to. But you can always like respec up until I think it's like level 60. They'll you respec for free.
That's how it works in the Amazon warehouses too.
Jesus, yeah. I guess that's sadly true. Everyone has to wear a million hats. But
NP and bottles.
God, I forgot that happened.
Not the warehouse people. Those are the drivers. To be
that's
fair,
everyone,
Mr.
man.
Bezos.
Yeah, it's everyone.
Just
even the game devs that are making a New World.
Yeah, and I visited their studio in Orange County to talk about.
So you got to see the bottles.
They would have been well hidden because I didn't see anything. You might have cleaned the place up. But
yeah. It was like, I need to use the restroom. Can you point me in the right direction? And confusing hijinks ensued. I'm sorry. Okay, move on. We'll cut this off.
With the New World Eternum, it's interesting because they're almost doing like a CS2 Overwatch 2 situation where it's more so like just a massive overhaul or like re-release of the first game that just kind of like takes its spot and then changes some things. Like now it's they put it on consoles, so it's on Xbox and PlayStation. It was previously PC only. And something they kept emphasizing to me was that you can now play the full story from beginning to end completely solo. Whereas the original version had like some multiplayer required stuff. I mean, it is an MMO. And then I believe it's like a third of the time to get to endgame content than it was because they felt the original game was too grindy. Which I don't know. I thought were all interesting changes. To me, it does feel a little bit like an MMO that doesn't really want to be an MMO anymore, but they don't want to commit too hard in either direction. So it feels like there's a bit of an identity crisis thing going on because they hammered home how it's like a solo experience now, but you run around. There's still 1,000 players everywhere, running around doing stuff and interacting with the world around you. It's decent. I think that New World was better than people gave it credit for when it came out. I still think it's pretty decent. I don't know. I didn't feel it has not been life changing of an MMO experience playing it to kind of show my hand because I haven't published the review for it yet. But It's fun. I think the combat is still good. I love the freeform design of it. I played as, I guess you call it like an archer through the original game, and then my character transferred over. I just respect into magic in stabs, which I appreciate the game not locking me into any of those choices. But yeah, it's a weird one because Amazon is managing like 3 MMOs at this point. Because I know they just put out Throne and Liberty. Lost Ark still exists. I know they didn't make that one, but I believe they publish it. So yeah, I'm curious to see what the lifespan of this game looks like, especially now that it's on consoles and stuff. But it's decent.
So like the way that they're doing this Eternum, it's not like how WoW handles their expansions. It's kind of what you're getting at. Like, it's not like a Mists of Pandaria that just adds stuff. It's like a rework of the entire game. This is kind of different. It's different.
Because they've done expansions. It's like something of the Angry Earth or the Scorched Earth. They did have like a big expansion that came out like a year and a half ago. That is still like all the content is in this game. Still, although I believe you still have to buy the expansion. I don't think they don't grandfather you into it if you didn't buy it. So I think people weren't too excited about that. But yeah, no, this seems more so like a restructuring of how this game is going to work for the future.
Interesting.
Which, you know.
I don't know many studios that are publishing 3 MMOs at the same damn time. That seems like...
It's very bizarre.
That seems like a weird strategy. But we'll see how it pays off for Bezos and friends, I guess.
Amazon's got so much money, they're just throwing it all over the place.
I mean, have you seen the cast of Thursday Night Football?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
You know these guys.
They get paid a lot. I don't know how much they paid Al Michaels, but he's getting paid a lot, and he hates life. Anyway. Yeah, watching Thursday. I don't know who's playing tonight, but yeah. So yeah, John, what have you been playing?
What have I been playing? Nothing as current as that. Although I guess Metaphor.
Yeah, it's current.
Well, it is current. Yeah. So this is Metaphor Re Fantasio. We had some very glowing things to say about it.
John, before you really dive in, I feel like I have to say, Yakuza John and Metaphor John. I mean, this is
weird.
This is ridiculous.
This is weird.
You're completely transformed.
No.
Hold on.
What happened was like he remembered that turn-based games are actually kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of my first great games was Dragon Warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
On the NES.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the original, right? And or Dragon Quest, I guess. But
it was Dragon Warrior back then.
Dragon Warrior here, right? So yeah, like I'm surprised at myself. I will say I haven't played it enough for it to hook me, but that's maybe just more of a testament to just, not having the time in the day. So it does push me towards a little bit more, smaller bites. And that is not a smaller bite game, at least for me. It's like it is like Yakuza in that.
The beginning definitely isn't. It's like I would say the first like hour or two of the game kind of goes sort of slowly, and then it just gets kind of crazy, and then you're like, oh, an hour passes, and I think another hour passes.
Yeah, like there's a lot of like things to establish, right? And I think that's cool. But it does push me towards like, okay, I really should give this the attention that it deserves, rather than doing this piecemeal kind of thing. So what I've played is really, it's been, pretty interesting, but I'll have more thoughts on that, dig into it. But yeah, Joe, that is an astute observation. I am shocked and appalled at myself as well. As you know, I'm just a Madden Call of Duty gamer, a bro gamer. And
oh, no. I am absolutely not saying that. But on former podcasts that you and I may or may not have been a part of, I got so much shit.
The Partridge Family, man. It was like every week you just shit on the Yakuza series.
I mean, forget Yakuza. Anything that was made by a Japanese developer with
sounds so awful.
I know. I was about to clear. I was about to clear your name. There's no racial undertones there, but I definitely dabbled in the JRPG genre. And
Dabbled. You dabbled? You're a dabbler. Oh my lord!
I pioneered it for the cartridge family, and you ripped me to shreds. So this is cathartic, to say the least.
Well, how many friggin' Fire Emblem games does Nintendo have to, push down
3.
the
And he's back.
3 per generation.
I'm just saying, like,
also
do we
multiple
really
Xenoblades per Switch.
Smash has really turned people against Fire Emblem.
Yeah, well, when you put 8 of the characters in the DLC, like, you're just asking for it.
That's a very astute observation for both of you, right? Like, I do think Smash had a lot to do with it, because I'm like, oh, here's another asshole. I don't even know what this guy Jim from,
he has a sword, John.
Fire Emblem. Anyway,
his sword is a third shorter than Marth's.
I love Lucina.
Holy shit, yeah. Meanwhile, like, unbelievable IP is still sitting there.
You would like Lucina.
She's great. She's a great swordsman.
Okay.
No, brother.
Mid-tier as fuck, but okay.
I forget the name of that ability where she can, like, counter. What's her, like, counter where she, like, does the sword stance if you hit her? She counters her.
It's that same move.
They all have that.
The other 6 of them have it.
Same sort of move.
That's the thing. To me, it was like, it's akin to a palette swap, right? And that's very boring. No,
what about
Nintendo
Violet? Why don't we talk more about Violet?
Well, Violet, Robin's good. Robin's got, like, the magic and stuff going on. That's a different vibe.
Well,
Okay.
So anyway. Well deserved. Joe's, the slams that I would deliver Joe every now and again. But then, to his credit, he did turn me around on the Yakuza series, and Yakuza's coming to Prime Video later this month. I'm very, very interested. It might be today or tomorrow, actually.
Is that
weekend. Right? I think it's the 24th or the 26th. So I told my wife already. I said, look, I'm just going to warn you. This is my type of thing. If I see a cameo that I think I'm going to see, there's no spoilers. I have no, entree into any of this stuff. But this is like more the Kiryu, line of games, right? I think. I mean, this is Kiryu. So. It seems like the main character. But if I see friggin' Kasuga, I'm gonna yelp. I'm gonna jump up and down. I'm gonna be like, yes, and you are going to maybe lose some respect for me, but I'm going to give you that heads up. Okay? So I'm very much looking forward to that. So Joe, thank you for, turning me on to that series. And Metaphors maybe I'm trying to see, does it, does that continue?
It will.
We'll see.
I can tell you, just as someone who I had also fallen off of JRPGs in like the last decade, and I kind of came back with Persona 5, and even just RPGs in general with Baldur's Gate. Like, I think this is the best RPG ever made. Like, or at least the best turn-based game I've played. I don't know. It's awesome. I've gotten to the part where it opens up, and it's not a spoiler. Like, there's a funeral scene. That scene was amazing. Like, everything that happens there, you're just like, holy shit. And it's just this balance of, like, there's action gameplay, right? Like, in the open world, then there's obviously the turn-based stuff. I like that there's that front row, back row meta in the turn-based part of it. Because, like, I got to this battle, Donovan, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting my ass kicked. And I, like, lost a couple of times, and I was like, what am I doing wrong? And I realized there's, like, they like, tip their hand that, like, they're about to attack the front row, and you have to move all your players back to dodge it. But, like, once you do that, it's just like, it unlocks this thing, and you're like, oh, this isn't as hard as I thought it was, but it felt hard. I like the archetype mechanics. Yeah, it just gets really cool. I also really liked Persona 5, though, so this is, like, an extension of that. But I think it's interesting, not just, like, John, but the industry as a whole seems like we're more accepting of turn-based games than we were, like, 10 years ago. It just seems like they've kind of come back around in favor.
Yeah. I do. I feel like last year Baldur's Gate 3 probably did a lot to contribute to that for folks, obviously.
And also just the popularity of, like, actual tabletop D&D, right? True. Like, that's also gained a lot of popularity in the last 10 years. So I think all those things have kind of opened the door for JRPGs and RPGs in general to be more accepted. But then, like, we've got some bangers, though. Like, Octopath has come out, and, like, Square is kind of figuring things out with their, I don't know. What's the most recent Final Fantasy that you like, Joe?
3 ago, I think. Yeah, remake in 2020.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Which is unbelievably good. Yeah.
So, like, there's just, funny. I feel like we've had a couple of these, like, fence post moments in the last 10 years where you're like, yeah, RPGs are back. You know what, Asif, too, is the pendulum has swung too far the other direction. So, like, Final Fantasy 16 is, I don't think I have a uncommon opinion that game is kind of weak. I think I just had it sooner than some people. Yeah.
And I think it's like, it's so shallow over the course of the 40 hours, the gameplay specifically, that I wonder if people are like, oh, maybe we do actually want our JRPGs to be turn-based after all.
Mm-hmm. I certainly do.
Yeah.
I do. And I want them to be, I just want them to be made by the people who made Metaphor and Persona. I'm like, just give me this. Because it's like,
Studio Zero,
it's
man.
so goddamn stylized and just great, and the music's awesome, and just, yeah, I don't know. I'm really, really, really enjoying it. Sorry, John, you have another game you wanted to mention.
Oh, yeah, no, I mean, it's just really quick before we move on from turn-based. One game that I am looking forward to that I think is not really turn-based exactly, but it's right there is Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Oh, yeah.
So
Brothership.
Even things like that. I don't know how that, factors into, really diehard series, like the Yakuza series or, like a Dragon series or, what we're talking about with Metaphor, but
still kind of huge, man. Like, we've gotten Mario RPG remake. We got,
they know how to make RPG. I think they make great, like, really good RPGs. I think my frame of reference isn't like you guys. Like, you guys are much more, in that space. But I am very much looking forward to the Mario and Luigi, the new game. So that's turn-based. As far as, like, the other stuff,
that's the Octopath devs. The Octopath developers are making Brothership. So. And it looks amazing, like, graphically, art style, like, everything about it just looks really cool.
And it's going to be fun. It's going to be funny. Like, it's actually going to have, like, a proper sense of humor and
proper amount of Luigi, like a decent amount of Luigi.
A little bit, good, solid, respectable showing. So that's cool. Yeah, like I said, I want to lock in with games like that. In the meantime, what have I?
Katamari Reroll.
Oh, Katamari, you're right. So we love Katamari, Reroll, and Royal Reverie. Oh, my Lord. It's just fun, solid. I mean, look, I wish that they would do like a next-gen proper epic Katamari where it's like, where can this go? This is the same engine as before, but it's such a fun time. The soundtrack is amazing.
The sound design and soundtrack, both.
Oh, it's great, and I've played, like, it's good for a good 5 minutes, and you want the levels to go on. And I just got to the level where it's like they give you, I think, like 15 minutes, and by the end of it, you're getting the Eiffel Tower and the friggin' London Bridge and everything, Tower Bridge and whatnot. Like, really awesome. Just a lot of fun, and then. Power Wash Simulator, kind of in a similar vein, good for like a good 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there. But I beat the game. I didn't know you could beat the game, but there's that career mode. And cute, fun. Like, I mean, I don't know, weird, right? To call it fun, but
oh no, it's great.
It let me lock in with my thoughts. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need to, like, do some mundane shit that looks good. It's like just fun. It scratches a primal itch, I think, and it's been meditative. So
it sounds weird to say, but like there are these 3 games, like, when I was kind of on my medical leave, that I really went deep into, and they were just healing games. Power Wash Sim, Vampire Survivors, and Tetris Effect. There were all these places that you could go to where, like, the gameplay is there, but it's like you don't have to focus too much, but you can also be, like, very locked in at the same time. So, like, obviously there's, like, a skill cap to all those games, or, like, there's, like, Tetris Effect, there's very, very good players or whatever, but, like, and there's speedrunners for Power Wash, John. Like, they did it at Awesome Games Done Quick, and it was really fun to watch. They did, like, it was 6 players, and they're just running through levels as fast as they could, and like calling out the different spots, and like it sounded like watching like Gears esports, right? The way that they were calling out stuff, but they're just washing a porch or something at some house.
I'd like to see like a couple of high school graduates on my property doing that. Like I've got
in real life.
Yeah. Like on the headset, cleaning my siding.
like trying to set a personal record for cleaning Joe's yard.
I did. I'm not kidding. Like we have a power washer here.
He's one shot.
Yeah,
He's one shot.
Yeah. We have one here. I'm like, it almost inspired me to like actually do the friggin' house, like to power wash the house or the patio or whatever.
Because that's the problem with that game is you feel guilty playing it because you're like, I could do the dishes instead.
You feel a little guilty, and then but then I'm outside. I'm like walking around and just doing a phone call or doing whatever. And I'm like, oh, I could power wash this really nicely. Like this lines up. This would be great to just get this clean. It's like, yeah.
There was this game, I want to say it was like a mobile game, but it was like a lawn mowing game that I had a similar vibe with, where I was like, man, I really like this.
Lawnmower Simulator, I'm sure. Yeah. It was they have one.
It was something. I can't remember. There's been a billion games at this point. Anyway, Joe, why are you still playing X Defiant? What the hell's going on here?
Well, I mostly put this on here because I remembered too late last week, if you recall, and didn't mention my continued like affair with X Defiant.
It's just like you and your group of friends are all just, you're like, we gotta get together.
That's right.
With our very little time we have to play online games.
That's right. Friend of the show,
X Defiant.
Yep, friend of the show, Vin, and friend of a different show, Scott from Maui, hopping on X Defiant. I gotta tell you, it's a fine time. I say that affectionately.
I saw the game, I believe it was the game director, had to like put out a tweet a week or two ago. He's like, the game is not getting canceled. Like, we're working on season 3 content and beyond. So on. So people were trying to
I saw that.
Suggest it was on its way out.
Yeah.
No, they saw Joe's friend group playing, like, increased the player base by like 20%, and they're like, nope, we got to keep going. And then Eve Game Mo was like, we only have one game that's even working right now. So yeah, they had to. What else were they going to support, Donovan?
Well, I was going to ask Joe, his friend group, are you guys going to try Black Ops 6, or are you completely off that train?
I have one of those of my friend group will be trying to get us to do that. And I don't think I have the appetite for it, nor do I have Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to want to, I don't think I'm going to want to fork that over. But is that your kind of thing, Donovan?
I was huge into Call of Duty like everybody was 10 years ago. Very big, like middle school, high school game. I fell off of it after that, but I do usually come back for Black Ops. I reviewed Black Ops Cold War, which I thought was pretty good. Because, at this point, I feel like Treyarch's the only ones making the kind of game I'm willing to check out. And
to be fair, you're just a huge Ronald Reagan fan, though.
Yeah, there you go. I just went and saw the movie starring Dennis Quaid, actually, just last week, yeah.
There's a Ronald Reagan movie?
Oh yeah. Starring
he was a movie star, right?
He was, yeah.
He could have played himself if he wasn't dead, I guess, but
yeah. They had made that movie a while ago. But yeah, I'll check out Black Ops 6.
Was Nancy in the movie? Is she dead?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't see that thing.
Is Nancy Reagan alive?
I'm pretty sure she.
I believe she bit the dust.
Do we know? We don't know for certain.
I'll look it up.
Let's see. Nancy Reagan, are you alive, Nancy Reagan?
Yeah, she passed away in 2016.
She couldn't be in Black Ops 6 then. That sucks. Who's the president in this one?
I guess like zombie.
Clinton? Is it Clinton?
It might be Clinton because it's 90s. So
awesome.
I don't know where in the 90s, but Clinton is definitely on the table. At the very least, I want to check out Zombies. Zombies is always fun with friends.
I just can't wait to see how they whitewash the war over in the Middle East.
Well, that's a common theme with the Call of Duty series.
Or also just Twitter.
Also, yeah. And is this weird to talk about, like, eventually, like, for whatever reason, I'm not even going to bring it up. No, it's too
You're talking about the timeline of COD eventually getting to modern time?
Eventually getting to 9/11, and how fucked up that's going to be.
Well, yeah. I think
because it's going to happen. Because everybody, I see memes and jokes for the last few years, and Just the nightmare of this damn thing. When's it going to be? I know it was in a video game with Postal and all this stuff, obviously, but when does a Call of Duty do that? Oh, go ahead. Or unless they already did.
Well, I was going to say that was a rumor around Black Ops 6 when it was getting announced that there was going to be some 9/11 related story mission. Trek actually came out and said that they would not be touching 9/11 in the game. So I don't know if that would apply to the franchise or just Treyarch's series, but
I'm going to figure like that's going to be a bridge that's going to be a shark they jump.
Well, that's got Microsoft. That's got Microsoft's board written all over it, man. Our sales are down for the third straight year. What are we going to do? I don't know. 9/11. Oh, that's a great idea, Jim. That's what's going to happen. Like 3 years from now. I don't know.
That's the 3 years? You're taking the you're putting
I'll throw it out there. They will do it in 3 years. That's how bad Microsoft is at managing IP. So yeah, I'm going to say 3 years from now, we'll see that happen in COD.
I want to take the over, but I think I'm not taking that bet.
No one should. I would cite Skype. Anyway, sorry, Joe. But that's good that your friends found a game X Defiant.
Hey, why not, right?
I'm happy for you guys that it's not Rocket League and you can play something together. That's good.
Yeah. I mean, we like that too, but
enough's enough.
I'm just too dominant. That's actually the problem.
It's not even that, man. It's just that game is like, it's enough. Enough Rocket League.
Yeah, I guess it's not my skills. I just wanted to touch on, I'm also playing Virtue's Last Reward.
What?
I will target Donovan with this question. Do you know what that is?
Wait, what is this?
Virtue's Last Reward.
Virtue's Last Reward. I don't believe I do.
It is a 3DS and Vita sequel to 999. And I've always meant to play it, and I booted it up last night. And that's as far as I got.
So you playing it on your 3DS?
I actually have it on Steam Deck. 3DS has a critical failure, a bug that I don't want to encounter. So,
see, as much as I love a turn-based JRPG, I was so Pokemon and Dragon Quest pilled growing up. That was like my box for turn-based RPGs until college and early adulthood.
All right, I'm taking a stand here for about 30 seconds. John has heard this before.
Uh-oh.
We just sung the praises of the JRPG genre, which this is not. 999 is not a JRPG.
Oh, it's not.
It is not. It is a visual novel that grabs you by the throat and doesn't let go for 11 hours. It's incredible.
That sounds cool.
Top 3 game for me. And so shame on me for not getting to the sequel. But I didn't want to not like the sequel and then potentially.
I was going to say, was it like
sour,
you didn't want to ruin it for yourself?
I didn't want to ruin it for myself. Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe I'll love it. It's well liked.
Is the full name Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward?
Zero Escape is the trilogy name. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's the one.
So you're playing it on. You bought this on Steam?
There's a Steam version. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. This is
awesome.
12-year-old game.
It is. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's old.
That's like that's Joe's sweet spot of playing games. Is like, has it been out for more than 10 years? I'm gonna play it and talk about it on podcast.
Yes. Bonus points if it was handheld, intended for handheld too. I tend to like.
If it was on the Vita, he's definitely playing it 10 years from now.
Yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
What have you been playing?
I mentioned it when John mentioned it. I've been playing Metaphor Refantasio. I love that game. It's great. It's just really good. It looks amazing. It's fun to play. It's like a time vortex when I play it.
That thing is going to sweep the Shack News Awards.
I think it's going to have a lot of awards. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of awards. I really like it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about too much. I don't want to spoil anything. Or I'll just say this. This weekend, something happened on Tulsa King where a beloved character died at the very end of the episode, where it was like shocking. You're like, oh my God. So then to like cheer myself up, I went to go play Metaphor. And it was the funeral, and that was probably not the best idea. But the story's really compelling, is what I'll say. It's like, I just think it's a compelling story. I like these characters. I like how the archetypes are awakened in them. I like the main character. Donovan, I don't know if you heard, I named my character Switch 2.
Wow.
So like all the conversations are hilarious. It's like, I am counting on you, Switch 2. I have a lot of expectations for you, Switch 2. Like, you better not give up, Switch 2. It's just like, every other comment, every other dialogue box is just funny to me now, because they're all like referring to him as Switch 2. I do find it, like, I don't know why they did this, but I find it interesting that you had to name yourself as well as the character when you fire up that game. So I'm interested to see how that works out as we continue playing through it. It's great. Highly recommend it. People should be playing it if you have the time. If you don't have the time, I get it, because it took me like 4 years to start to play Persona 5, like seriously, and I still haven't beaten it. And to your point, Donovan, like, I don't know if I'm going to go back to play it, because I really like the quality of life improvements in Metaphor.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of, which, you know, is just a testament to how good Metaphor is, but yeah.
I have a prediction, Asif. They ask you to input your name because you are the final boss, the final human that must be conquered.
Yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
You can take on yourself. Or, yeah, that would be meta. So yeah, playing that for sure. Meta for sure. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe because we're trying to rank all 96 tracks. Yeah, I can say that I think we let one slip by, Donovan. Piranha Plant Slide sucks. So we're going to be playing that tomorrow. And it may have to, it's one of those scenarios where we've gotten to like the 96 through 60. So it's like, we're going to have to figure out where between 96 and 60 Piranha Plant Slide should live. Because it's just, with so many tracks, we're just letting some slip. So I'm going back and I'm watching our previous top videos. We did like top however many good guy tracks, bad guy tracks, food tracks, like all these different themes. So I'm using those as a guide to kind of figure out this middle part of the rankings. But I found our divining rod for this week's episode. We're going to Electrodome. It's like, is this track better than Electrodome or worse than Electrodome?
Okay.
I don't know, John, if you have any thoughts on Electrodome, but it's like, I think when it was on the Wii U and it was like early in the Mario Kart 8 universe, we were like, oh, wow, this is cool. It's like a rave level. But now it's like, it's not even in my top 30, I don't think. Just
I mean, I remember it fondly. I don't know if it would be, I am surprised if it's not in the top 30. That seems like a lot of tracks. And it's a memorable track to me.
It is. Like, it's one of those that sticks out, but it's pretty divisive among our staff, is what I've found. Like, it's like TJ's favorite track, Steve's least favorite track. So I just think it's going to be a good, like, line in the sand track for, like, is this one better?
What's the problem with the track? Like, I'm curious. I never thought it was like, I didn't think it would be that divisive.
I think the problem is at this point in the ranking, John, like, none of these tracks are bad. It's just varying degrees of good, right? So it's like, is this one, like, what does this one do that other ones don't? Like it's pretty basic. It's a couple of power slides. There's a couple of areas where you can fall off the level, but like the sound design is great and the music is great and the theme is great. So it's like, I think the actual racing is not that challenging, is what I would say. It's like, it's not the most challenging track, but that doesn't make it a bad racetrack. So it's that's what's been interesting about this list. It's like figuring out what aspects of a track make it good or bad to whoever. So yeah, I've been playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, just trying to figure out our playlist for this week. So yeah, we'll be streaming Friday afternoon at 2:30 Eastern on the Shack News Twitch channel, trying to get even more of this list done. But yeah, we've been ranking Mario Kart 8 tracks for the last, I don't know, Dom, how long has it been? Like 8 months?
Yeah, the majority of this year at this point.
Basically all year. And I wanted to rank Zelda shrines, and I don't know. If this took this long, I don't know how long it would take to rank Zelda shrines.
That sounds daunting.
Like 5 years? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Speaking of 5 years, I'm playing Balatro on mobile still. It's really good still. I haven't beaten it still on mobile. I've beaten it 3 times on Switch. Nice. It's great. And they just got a DLC today. They got their Friends of whatever. What's it called?
Jimbo. Friends of Jimbo.
Friends of Jimbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they got, I want to say it's Cyberpunk, like The Witcher. A couple really interesting crossovers.
Final Isaac and Stardew Valley.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then, I have also been playing, actually, before I say the game everyone's expecting, I actually played a couple of the Game Jam games from the Shack News Jam 2024. I played one game called Apple Slip that was made by Stay for Game. It's actually quite fun. It's like a maze-based platform game, but it's also like Snake. So you're this little apple and you have to collect these different pickups, and then it unlocks the end of the level. And at some point, a snake starts chasing you through the maze. So that's pretty neat. The theme of the jam was fast. So yeah, it's just been a lot of really faster games. Yeah, there's another game called Circle Goes in the Circle Hole that I played from Goldkeeper that I thought was pretty fun. I haven't gotten around to playing all of them. There are 17 submissions, I think. And you can play, I want to say you can play almost 12 of them in your browser. So that's cool. But yeah, maybe we'll link the itch.io in our article or something, Joe, so people can try it out. The Shack News Jam games are up and playable. Sure. So yeah, and then this will surprise everyone. I've been playing F-Zero 99.
Oh yeah, you did it.
What?
Yeah, I know.
You did it.
I have a lot of updates. So finally. you know how I was ranked 99 last episode. I now have a star next to my rank, so I'm ranked 3. But I've circled the entire game, and now I'm coming back. So I'm ranked 3 with 1 star. I had my best placement in a traditional mini pre. So that's the F-Zero 99 game mode, but a 3-track mini pre. I placed 5th on Mute City 4, 4th on Red Canyon 1 Mirror, 4th on Port Town 2, to place 3rd overall. So I had the cool little animation with my car spinning, and I was next to the winners at the end.
Sick.
So I've placed 3rd now in a classic mini pre and a traditional mini pre. I'm very close. I'm going to win a mini pre soon. My leaderboard rank did fall last week. I was 7,864 in the universe. I did have my best Ace League Grand Prix finish of 16th overall, so I'm getting better at those. And I realized I had been slacking in recent episodes. I hadn't been mentioning my rivals, and there are a lot of them. So if I don't say anything, I beat them. If I do say something about how I didn't beat them, I didn't beat them. But here's my list. Super Mario, Jetman, Dude Guy, did not beat Dude Guy. Snorb, didn't beat Snorb. Zoda, Torch Song, just the capital letter F, just the F. Sonar, Nintendo 64, did not beat them. Big Tanuki, didn't beat them. Khan, beat Khan. Tim's dad and I had this back and forth. There's someone named F0 with like a accent aigu over the E. It's like EFZERO. Burb, JDude 2000, Purple Goop, Erroneous, Coco, and lastly, I did not beat 99 Problems, but I did race them. So those are my rivals of the week, and yeah, still a great game. The anniversary event is now over. They said that they're going to keep the emotes and the different awards in the Lucky Rewards rotation. So even if you didn't get them during the event, you still could. That's pretty neat. But yeah, it's pretty funny that like a year ago, they said they were not going to be providing any more updates to the game. And since then, there have been like 8 material updates to the game. So yeah. And I was on F-Zero Twitter yesterday, and people still don't think we're getting a new F-Zero game. So we'll see what happens next year.
Weird.
Oh yeah, real quick. They are doing a Galactic Grand Prix. I think it's on the anniversary of the first F-Zero game's release. So November 23rd. I think I might enter.
Do it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Join the F-Zero Discord. So I'll let you guys know in a month how that goes. But these guys are really good. So it's gonna be tough. But I think I'm racing well enough where I should probably enter.
Any given Sunday. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, I just won like a couple weeks ago, so yeah, like it's possible. And I'm placing like, it used to be like, oh, I'm getting top 20. Now I'm getting top 10, top 5 consistently, and I'm sitting at like an S8 rank, which is the highest head-to-head rank that I've ever been at. So yeah, I just think I'm racing well. Why not enter the Grand Prix?
Totally
cool. But
Great.
Joe, you have a game for us, right?
I do have a game for you.
Nice.
And Donovan and John. So why don't we take a quick break and we'll dive into that.
Sweet.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Metacritic Re ScoreGuessio.
Whoa. That's an all-timer right there, instantly.
A brand new Shack Together game where I will present you the name of a game. And on today's game, these are games that released this year. I will present you a name of a game that has a Metacritic score, an existing one, and you will tell me what you think it is. At the end of the game, your cumulative score is what matters, and we will see who is closest to the cumulative score of the real scores. Do you understand?
So how are we? So we're all going to chime in each round.
Yes, we will go snake style.
Okay.
And you will chime in each round, and you won't necessarily, you can win a round, but ultimately you're trying to get the best cumulative score. So closest...
here's my question. Let's say, hypothetically, let's say that there's a game that has an 88 Metacritic score, and I guess 95. Is that a -7 for me or a +7?
No, neither.
What? How do you score this?
I am scoring whose ever final tally, so the sum, is closest to the sum of the real Metascores.
So you're going to add up all the Metacritic scores from this game, and at the end, you're going to add up all of our scores, and whoever's closer, is this Price is Right rules? Is it closest without going over? Does it matter?
No, does not matter.
So I could be closest. 1 over or 1 below, and it's the same. Okay. I think I understand.
Right. Yep.
You guys understand?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And I think you guys will all be pleased to know that there's no buzzing in, so your slow internet speeds won't be a factor.
Nice.
And
yeah, that's fine.
I feel like,
and here we go.
Yeah, nice. Okay.
Dude, you should see our YouTube comments. We've been getting attacked for weeks.
Oh, good. And he left.
All right. Here we go. We're going to go snake style, starting with Asif, followed by Donovan, then John. John, you will go first on the next round. Here we go. The first game is Bleak Faith Forsaken, everyone's favorite 2024 release. Asif, what is the Metacritic score?
I'm going to say 63.
Okay, Donovan?
I'm going to say 73.
John?
I'm going 67.
Wow. Fantastic work. The correct score is 63. Perfect job.
Wow.
Oh, very good. Very good.
I've never heard of that game in my life.
Me neither.
A huge Bleak Faith fan in Asif. John, you're up next with Crow Country.
Yo, do we get like a description of these games, or do y'all know?
No.
Crow Country.
Crow Country is like a PS1 throwback style horror game.
Yeah, it's a horror game.
I'm going to go 81.
Donovan.
I'd say 78.
Asif.
75.
The correct answer is 82. Well done, John. A well-liked game in Crow Country.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, another one.
I believe Crow Country. Yeah. I believe Crow Country is this week coming to more platforms, if I remember correctly. So check that out. Asif, you're up with Sandland.
Oh,
that came out this year?
Oh, yeah.
God damn. I'm going to say 70.
Oh.
Donovan.
I'm going to say 66.
John.
I'm going 72.
Wow. The correct answer is 71. Asif and John split that one. Well done.
Nice. Did it.
John, you're up next with the Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Okay.
Guys, was this well liked? All right, hold on.
The original Battlefront games?
Well, I remember the original Battlefront. All right, no, I'm just
saying those were liked.
Those were liked. I just wonder if this is
was this re-release collection well liked, John? And in what quantity was it well liked?
Right. I will go with 72.
Donovan.
65.
Asif.
80.
The correct answer is 58.
Holy
well done,
shit.
Donovan.
This launched with it was terrible servers, right? Where you could for 45 people or something obnoxious.
Yes, there were network issues on this one. Next up, Asif, Stellar Blade.
Ooh, controversial. Sorry.
Not really.
Goodness.
This is the critics side of the Metascore.
That's what I'm saying. That's
important distinction.
82.
Donovan.
82.
I'm gonna say 80 flat.
John.
Yeah, I was gonna go with 78.
The correct answer is 81.
Whoa.
Asif and Donovan splitting it. Wow.
Nice.
Very, very nice. Next up, we have, and this goes to John, Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos with a K reigns. I believe that's a DLC.
Yeah, it's a expansion, I guess, or DLC. Hard
This
to
is a
say.
particular platform? Like, this is...
No, it's on everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they were ranking it on Switch, it would be like -10.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. So, like, that's my word.
Yeah, this is platform agnostic.
This is cumulative. I'm going to go with 79.
Donovan.
74.
Asif.
50.
Say it again.
50.
50. Okay. Just checking. Asif is closest. The correct answer is 61.
Yeah,
a bit of a tumultuous launch. Okay, next up.
It's not good. They should feel bad.
Yeah. Asif, you're up with Metaphor Refantasio.
Ooh.
I was wondering if you're going to put it in here. I'm like, you have to.
Yeah,
I have to.
Gosh. 94?
Donovan?
95.
John?
96.
The correct answer is 93. Well done, Asif. John?
Good job. Yes,
How did critics respond to The First Descendant?
Is that bike racing game? No, I know.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No. No, this was a shooter game only on Steam, I believe.
It's kind of like Destiny.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 79.
Donovan.
I'm going to say 70 flat.
Asif.
I'm going to say 81.
Guys, you don't know what you're talking about because this was a bomb at 52.
Whoa. This hurt all of us.
I didn't want to tip my hand because when he said it was like Destiny, I was going to be like, but worse in every way. I didn't know it was that people were that low on it.
That's good. Yeah.
Yes, this game had some controversy, not unlike the spacefaring game that has still not come out, that I'm blanking on the name of, but a bit of a bait and switch is the accusation on the first.
Oh, my bad. I should have remembered this. This is one of our best headlines in a review. The First Descendant review by Josh Broadwell. His subheading was, "We have Destiny at home."
Oh, that was a good one. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah.
Also.
And he gave it a 5. So yeah, that's just me. You know what? What's weird though? It got reviewed poorly by critics, and then it still kind of blew up in popularity. I kind of want to see what the just real quick, Joe.
Is it free to play?
Was it?
Did you say Quest, Donovan?
I said, is it free to play?
Oh, I don't think so. I think it's paid, and that was part of the problem. I thought so.
You know what? The user reviews are still bad. It's 59 user reviews, so I don't know. People are playing it for some reason.
Wow. And I think The First Descendant has a Kickstarter or something that just launched, and so the guy's asking for more money again.
Oh, Jesus.
Some shady stuff going on.
So some Star Citizen behavior going on.
Exactly. All right, next up, I think it's Asif's turn.
Yeah.
Thank goodness you're here.
Oh, that's a banger. Let me say 85.
Donovan.
I'll say 82.
John.
86.
Wow. Nicely done, Asif. The correct answer is 84. Wow.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's see a game.
John, you're up with Skull and Bones.
Oh, no. Come on. No.
It's a quadruple A game, John.
I'm going to go with...
I suggest 100, but that's just me.
You can loot lumber with your boat. You don't have to get off your boat to loot.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you can't get off your boat. It's impossible.
Mm-hmm. Well, you can walk around on some of the islands, and it's maybe the most miserable thing I did in a video game this year.
Stop giving hints.
I'm going to go with 45.
Donovan.
That's low.
I'm going to say 54.
Asif.
I'll say 50 or 50.
50. This one goes to Donovan. The correct answer, 59. Wow.
That's too high.
Yeah, 45 is way too low. That was my problem.
I don't know. I think by Metacritic standards, and you put everybody together, a game would have to be like unplayable, like broken physically.
Yeah.
The consensus to be that low.
That's true. Next up, Asif. Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game.
Nice.
65.
Donovan.
76.
John.
72.
Well done, Asif. The correct answer, 66.
Nice.
Ooh, I know people were that
Also,
low.
Donovan gave Skull and Bones a 5 out of 10 at Shack News. Just want to throw it out there.
It's a great score. It's the
He
right
also said,
score.
a pirate's life is not for me. This is subheading, which is solid.
Very good. John, you're up with Silent Hill, The Short Message. This was a bit of a teaser game earlier this year.
I mean, is it reviewed as a teaser game? You know what I mean? Or are people going to complain about it being a teaser? That's the main thing.
That would be weird. I don't think there was any bait and switch on this one. Just on its merits. What is the Metacritic?
I'll give it an 80.
Donovan.
I'm going to say 60.
Damn it. Yeah, I'm going to say 59.
Oh, uh-oh.
I don't think people like this game, if I remember correctly.
Correct answer, 53. Well done, Asif. Asif, you're up next with Llamasoft, the Jeff Minter story.
Oh, this is cool. I'm going to say 87.
Donovan.
80.
John.
82.
Well done, John. Correct answer, 83.
Nice.
Very
That
well
is
liked.
cool.
Okay.
Cool.
John, you're up again. And everyone is curious to know, what do the critics think of Foam Stars?
70.
Yeah.
Donovan.
66.
Asif.
I'm going to say 60.
Wow.
And you would be closest because the correct answer is 57.
Oof.
Ooh, I'm
disliked game.
Boy.
Foam Stars.
Yeah, the game was very disliked.
They went free to play, you guys.
Speaking of disliked games, Asif, what did people think of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I mean, it's disliked by you, but the review scores are pretty good for it. I would say, maybe like 84?
Donovan?
I'm going to say 87.
John?
Going 81.
Wow. The disrespect. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth comes in at 92 on Metacritic.
Yeah.
That's too high.
High.
Oh, I agree.
I know it was very well reviewed.
How about the recently released, John, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2?
Sure. I'm going to go 90.
Donovan?
I'll say 88.
Asif?
I was going to say 88. I'll say 85.
Once again, the closest is Asif. The correct answer, 80.
It got really dumb outlier scores.
I thought it was well liked.
It is, but I recall a couple of outlets giving it like 4s or 6s or something ridiculous.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, something happened.
Contrarian stuff. Politics?
Yeah.
Or what?
Yeah, I don't know if it was politics or just sometimes people don't like the game kind of thing, but
yeah. Interesting.
I'm trying to remember. Like, there was like there were a lot of outlets, I think us included, that gave it a 9 or an 8. And then there was this PC Gamer and PC Games N both gave it a 6.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah, so, it pulls down a score when, there's not a whole lot of reviewers. But yeah, a 6, I don't know why one would give that game a 6. Anyway.
Let's see what we think about Unknown 9 Awakening.
Is that me?
Yep. I think 60. This came out last week.
Yeah, it did. 60. It's not very good.
Donovan.
65.
John.
I'll go 62.
Wow. Asif has his finger on the pulse of Metacritic. The correct answer, 61. John, can I ask you a question?
You may.
What did games journalism at large think about Unicorn Overlord?
Bloody hell. That one of them Roblox things?
No, it's a
JRPG. Not at all.
It's one of Joe's things.
Yeah. It's like
another Atlas joint.
It's like a tactical JRPG, right?
Yeah. More or less. Yep.
I'll go 80 period.
80 period. Donovan.
Yeah. 88.
Asif.
86.
Ding, ding, ding on the money, 86.
Ooh.
Okay, well done. How about X Defiant, Asif?
It's a 70.
Donovan.
Solid 7.
76.
John.
I'm going 72.
Yeah.
Well, this one goes to Asif again. 69 is the right answer. Nice.
Oh, wow.
What about EA Sports College Football 25, John?
I'll go. That's tough. I will say, because it's games journalism, and it's a sports game, I'm going to say that they tend to skew a little bit higher. I mean, it tends to be a little. I'm going to go 80.
Donovan.
84.
Asif.
86.
Well done, Donovan. 83 is the right answer. But how about Madden NFL 25, Asif?
By the way, Donovan reviewed both of these games.
Sure.
Madden NFL 25. 60.
60. And I should say Madden NFL 25 2.
Yes,
I believe this is the
this
second.
year's one.
Yeah, the actual 2025. Yeah.
Donovan.
Say 63.
John.
I'll go 70.
Right on the money, John. 70 is the right answer. Well done.
It was a better year for that game, so that's not that surprising.
Okay, here's one. And this came out, it's on this list because this came out on PlayStation this year. Hi-Fi Rush. What is the Metacritic on Hi-Fi Rush?
Is this me?
This is John.
It's John. Yeah.
I'll go 80.
Donovan.
I'll say 86.
Asif.
88.
The correct answer is 88. Wow.
Wow.
It was a very well liked game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great game.
It's a great game. Better shut the studio down.
Yeah.
A good game.
I don't know, man. Like, I think the graphics, the art style and the graphics kind of carry it. And also, I like the music in it. You're right, though. It's not the deepest gameplay or anything, but it's just, I don't know.
I'm just surprised. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised, but it's 88 is pretty high.
It was a surprise. I'm talking about the original release. Like, it was one of those shadow drop the day of a Xbox
event. I
event.
remember that. I got that that day, and I enjoyed it very much. But that's a hefty score.
Mm-hmm. Especially
got a few left here.
Joint. Yeah. Sorry,
got a few left here. Here we go. Asif, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Oh, that's trash. It runs though, so I don't think it's I'm gonna say 50 or 50.
It runs.
It does. Okay. Honestly, it's something that we talk about when the scores drop to the 4s. I have to ask basic questions like, does it run?
Yeah.
That's the box quote. It runs.
Donovan.
63.
John.
I'm 55.
The correct answer is 60. Well done, Donovan.
Hey.
Wow. A pile of garbage.
It's bad.
All right.
That's a bad game.
I thought developer. Okay, go ahead.
I wish them well. The new VR Batman game is getting good marks.
I'm sure that wouldn't make you throw up in 5 seconds.
Oh, I won't be trying that. Nor do I have the means to.
Yeah. Hey, Donovan's playing it right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't installed it yet, but I will.
John, how about Dragon's Dogma 2?
I will give that a 79.
Donovan.
87.
Asif.
88.
Oh, brother.
Wow. Donovan is closest at 86 is the correct answer.
Yeah, it was very well liked. It's quite a good game.
Yeah.
What about it came and went? People kind of forgot about it.
It did go quickly, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was reviewed well, but it just didn't stay in the collective conscience very long.
You know what else went quickly? Harry Potter Quidditch Champions.
Ooh. Another Donovan review.
Yeah, I reviewed a lot of the games on the show.
It's really funny. The amount of games that Donovan actually reviewed on this list is insane.
But I might still lose despite that.
Yeah, I've read all of these reviews. Is this me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. What was the game?
Harry Potter Quidditch Champions.
Sorry. That's a 70.
Donovan.
I was going to say 70. I'll say...
you can.
Yeah, where's the fun in that? I'll say 69.
Okay, nice.
Okay, 68.
John, well done. 66 is the correct response.
Nice.
Let's see. I'm going to trim down. How about we do 5 more lightning rounds?
Sure.
Okay.
John, South Park Snow Day. What do people think of that?
I'm going to say, it was a real controversial type of review. I have no idea. I'm going to say, let's go 75. Oof, that is high.
Donovan.
72.
Asif.
I'm going to say 60.
And you would be closest. This abysmal trash heap is rated at 52.
It's
oh my gosh,
that bad. It's just not that deep of a game. It's like these people never played the turkey game from N64, John. Do you remember that?
the South Park game?
The South Park game with the turkeys? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
Like,
gosh.
Sometimes they make South Park games that sometimes they make South Park games that aren't deep and aren't turn-based RPGs, and I think people got really mad that this wasn't like another sequel to the Fractured Butthole or whatever. Like, this was just it's a nice game. It doesn't deserve that score, but whatever. Matt and Trey are still rich.
Do we think that the scores that Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree are deserved?
Ooh.
And what are they?
Is this me?
Yep.
90.
Donovan.
94.
John.
I'm going to split the difference. 92.
Well, you messed up because Donovan hit the nail on the head. 94 is right.
Nice.
But you can make up for it, John, because the next question is Concord.
Oh, nice.
Donovan reviewed this.
That's
not even funny.
That's 75. Yeah, let's go 75.
Donovan.
This was probably lower than I reviewed it, so I'll say 63.
Asif.
What did John say?
I said 75.
I'm going to say 70.
Well done, Donovan. 62 is the right answer. Wow.
Nice.
Wow. That was very low.
The final three scores, and let me just say this, they matter.
Ooh.
Next up, Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown.
Ooh.
Is this
Awesome.
me?
Yep.
78.
Donovan.
88.
Yeah, 86.
John is on the money, 86. Well done.
Oh, nice.
John, you're up next. Animal Well, how did that perform?
Oh, man. That was awesome. It was so fun. I'll say 92.
Okay. Donovan.
86.
Asif.
81.
Oh, crap.
Well done, Donovan. 88 is what I was looking for. And our final game on this list, Asif, how did Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth score this year?
Ooh.
Taking all the way back to like January, right? Or February.
Yeah, I'm going to say 90.
Donovan?
Gosh. I'm going to say 87.
I'm going to say 91.
Wow. 89 is the right answer. Closest is Asif.
Ooh.
And now I will do some minor math. Please talk amongst yourselves for 15 seconds.
Calculating.
I'm going to say I think Asif got this one.
I think if I were keeping score,
between you
I
two.
would have. If I were keeping score, I would have had a spreadsheet that would have been calculating this total in real time. So I wouldn't have to calculate.
Yes,
I did
Google
that.
Sheet action.
And yet,
it's exactly what it
calculates.
Well, I have to see
Crunch the numbers again.
That part. Yeah, and now Asif, by the way, you can look. You're allowed to look now at our sheet.
You mean okay.
Excuse me.
So it was tight. Second and third place was pretty tight.
Really?
In third place, just make sure I have this right. In third place is John, who exceeded the cumulative score by only 112 points. That's pretty good. So everyone did well. If that's the worst of it. Second place is Donovan.
Yeah.
Who exceeded the cumulative score by 90 points.
Oh,
90
that's not
points.
bad.
Okay.
That means I won.
And Asif, you are the victor, coming in at only 22 points above the cumulative, which is extremely good. That's impressive.
That was good.
So you were like, you have like a 1.5 point variance or something on each score. Well done.
Can you tell how many reviews I've fucking read this year?
Yeah.
If Shack News reviewed any of those games you mentioned, I've read that review. So at least, Shack sometimes we're higher than the consensus, sometimes we're lower, but I think for the most part, we tend to be right around the Metacritic score.
Well, clearly, I mean, this is proof.
Yeah. So, quite a bit of experience reading these reviews of these games. So
yeah,
I think and honestly, Donovan reviewed so many of them.
I reviewed a lot of them. I have to listen back and count how many, but it was a good chunk of them.
Wow. Well,
including
congratulations on
the namesake of the game. Like, Donovan reviewed that too.
Yeah. I want to congratulate Asif on winning the inaugural episode of Metacritic Re ScoreGuessio.
Yes, thank you.
Enjoy your visitorship.
Good game, Joe. I like this one. This is cool.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. Let's get over to story time.
Sure.
Because there's a lot.
Yeah. Fun. Welcome to Storytime. Let's dive into the latest stories from the past week. Oh my god, there's a lot of stories. Where to start? So there have been some revelations about Masahiro Sakurai and what he's been up to. He spent $630,000 on the production of his YouTube channel in the last few years. He actually filmed almost all of the videos like 2 or 3 years ago. So this was something that was definitely born out of the lockdown, right? Where he was probably bored. He wasn't developing Ultimate anymore or working on DLC for Ultimate. So I think he played some video games and he was like, wow, people are bad at making video games. And then he made this channel just to make, he's like, here's how you make better video games. So if you go back and you watch the whole channel, Masahiro Sakurai on creating games, like it's just a masterclass in how to make good video games, and behind the scenes looks at how they developed combat mechanics for Smash, or inspirations from Kirby, or like making a port of a Kirby game. Like he just talks about so much, from how to design a game, how to make people feel rewarded, animations, like the Smash, like the actual Smash animations, like, and the hit boxes and stuff. He goes so in depth. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear that like this channel is here to stay. It's an educational thing. He did it for the community. It's not monetized. So I find that all really cool. But then this other little tidbit came out. He's been working on his next game since 2022. So what do we think that is?
I mean, I just think it's interesting that he dropped the Shyamalan plot twist that all those videos were recorded like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and he like pre-recorded them a long time ago. And
isn't that a Nikocado avocado plot twist? Does anyone get that reference?
I do get that reference. Yeah, it is a similar deal. Yeah, where the whole time he was doing something totally different and just had this massive backlog of content. I don't know what it is. Also, do you think it's Smash or a different franchise?
So I think it's probably Smash. But
that's where my safe money would be if I had to bet. But I don't know.
But I think it would be cool if it was Kid Icarus Uprising sequel. Because that game gets no love, and it's great.
The way he words it, or at least the way it's translated to English, where it says that they were wrapping up the last couple of DLC fighters for Smash Ultimate, and then he received a request to write a pitch, which to me sounds like Nintendo came and was like, hey, like, pitch this game or an idea for this game. Would they really ask him to outline the next Smash while he was still working or finishing work on the like current one? I mean, maybe they would. I don't know, but
I don't think so. I really don't. And I also think he's a guy who he needs to be creative, and just being locked down and making Smash forever is not how you inspire a creative person. So I like the idea of them saying, hey, pitch something. But I also go back to Mario's bedroom in the Mario movie, and what is he playing on that television? He's playing Kid Icarus.
Very true.
And Masahiro Sakurai made a banger of a Kid Icarus game. Just saying. It could be a smaller game that doesn't take 5 years to develop, right? And it would be a perfect thing to have for a launch title on the new system.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be Smash, but I think it probably is. And if it's not, that would be cool for him. Because where the hell do you... Like, I feel this way about two of their franchises right now. Where the hell do you go after Mario Kart 8 Deluxe? And where the hell do you go after Smash Ultimate? Like, they got Sora, Donovan. Like, what are we missing? Waluigi?
Well, I think you just have to scale down. You can't do the bigger is better thing again. You've peaked there. You have to do like a back to basics, like a reimagining thing. The interesting angle is that it's like Smash is going to continue with or without Sakurai. It's just a matter of how long he wants to be a part of it. But the day he's done making games, that's not the end of the Smash Brothers franchise.
No, it's like what we see with Miyamoto and Mario, right? Like he's still there, but he's not developing these games anymore. Yeah. I think Sakurai's he's closer. He's getting closer to that moment. I think he was pretty close to burnt out during Smash Ultimate's development. And he, some of the DLC characters, I don't think he actually wanted to put in. So yeah, at this point, it's like, what are they missing? Like, I don't know. That's my question. Like, what the hell is the next Smash Brothers? So
it would be cool if he got to do like a passion project, and then maybe further into Switch 2's life cycle came back for another Smash, like a one for me, one for them kind of thing.
That's what I'm thinking. Like, kind of like what they did with Emio, right? Like Emio was like a passion project from the Metroid developer. So yeah, like I think that might be what we're seeing here. I kind of hope it is. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I love his games, so I look forward to him whatever he wants to show us what he's working on. Looking forward to it. But I'm guessing it's a Switch 2 launch title. And then, yeah, like someone else can make Smash.
Yeah.
At this point, it's pretty formulaic. I just don't know where the hell it goes. Like, I think the thing that would break the internet is a Melee like HD remake.
That is a lever they could pull and should pull at some point. But
with rollback netcode.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm just sounding crazy. Anyway, we had a couple of like preview or impression pieces. I think one was a preview, one was impressions. Will Borger did not like the Until Dawn remake.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was unfortunate. I mean, I love the original Until Dawn. It's one of my favorite horror games, but it does seem like the remake was a bit, I don't want to say half-assed, because I don't want to say they didn't put effort into it, but it does seem just a bit underbaked and underwhelming, according to what people have said. I haven't gotten the chance to play it yet.
Or maybe it just wasn't necessary, right? Like, I think that was Will's take, is it's an unnecessary, technically abysmal remake of a great game.
Yeah. Like, Until Dawn was so janky, and it doesn't seem like they addressed the jank. Like, that wasn't even, like, a thing that they went after. Like, it seems like it's still kind of janky, which, you know, is part of the charm, I guess. But
and, like, you put it up against, like, RE4 Remake.
Yeah.
And you see, like, the level of care and detail in that game. I think our industry is full of these now, where people are there's too many remakes happening.
Yeah, just make Until Dawn 2. It's already rumored now because they like added like an extra ending or something. They should just went straight to 2.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But Will did have nice things to say about a different video game. He got a chance to play the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Rita's Rewind. Mm-hmm. It's this is a I don't want to. It's not. I want to get the developer right. Who's making this? Digital Eclipse. They're just amazing at making these side scroller beat 'em ups and also making these like collectors collections, you know. But everything looks good here. I've the idea of a Power Rangers beat 'em up sounds good to me. I feel like we're in this new era for beat 'em ups. Like, you know, we mentioned earlier, like JRPGs are kind of back in favor. It seems like multiplayer local co-op beat 'em ups are also kind of in a renaissance. We had was it Streets of Rage 4 a few years ago? Yep. We had Shredder's Revenge. Was that last year? I don't remember.
That was 2 years. No, maybe it was 2 years ago. Time's a vacuum.
Yeah. And now, like, we're getting a Double Dragon reboot kind of thing, and we even had a good Contra this year. You know what I mean? So it's like side-scrolling beat 'em up, shoot 'em ups are kind of back, and this appears to be one of them. What, are you guys Power Rangers fans?
I was a huge Power Rangers kid.
Yeah, same.
I'm not a super into side scroller beat 'em ups. I'll probably check it out, but
I wonder what is the secret sauce that makes some stuff stick around. Like Pokemon, the staying power for Pokemon is unbelievable. Mm-hmm. But like Power Rangers, I don't necessarily have like fond memories of.
I think something Pokemon and Power Rangers have in common is that they try to like reinvent themselves every like 4 or 5 years, right? Where they just reboot Power Rangers every handful of years with like a new cast, new story.
But then what's the differentiating factor that makes millennials like Pokemon still?
Well, I just think that it's like every generation has a touchstone for it. Like just anyone who's been born in the last 25 years like has an era of Pokemon that they liked, or like a season of Power Rangers they watched if they were into that sort of thing.
But also, like, forget actually playing the games. The Pokemon television series and the movies, like, there are a group of casual fans that don't even like the games, right? And I think that's true of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, too. It's just never been that big of an IP. And they mismanaged it at times with movie reboots and stuff like that, where I think it's kind of been diluted. But this is the perfect genre to bring back this IP, sure. I think. But yeah, I think that's part of it, Joe, is that like the staying power of the entertainment property itself as a show, I think drives interest around the games. But also Donovan's point about like the generational, like when I feel like every person, when you say Pokemon, a specific Pokemon appears in their head, right? And like that doesn't have anything to do with the games even. That's just like, I like Pikachu, or I like Psyduck, or I like Charizard. You know what I mean? Like that's just, I don't know. There's something like
Coco.
Yeah. Yeah, some people like that one.
Coco.
Of course you do. I think it's weird because the mainline Pokemon games have not really changed enough, and the sales keep going up. So like that's the thing that baffles me, Joe, is like, why do people tolerate these games still?
Power of the IP.
Yes, that's that IP. Yeah, people just love Pokemon.
Anyway, so yeah, a couple of like preview impression pieces from Will, and yeah, we got some Sakurai news. I cannot wait to hear what he's doing. But yeah, on to reviews, which is trademarked. This is the Reviews Palooza by Shaq Newsa. I just read that.
I had that user tested, so you're welcome.
There you go. So Nintendo doesn't make video games anymore. They make clocks. And Ozzy Mejia reviewed the Nintendo Sound Clock Alarmo. He gave it a 7 out of 10. And I just want to point out that I think Ozzy lives too much of a happy life to enjoy the Alarmo properly. He's married and he has a dog, right? And the dog sleeps in his bed with them. So like Alarmo is for sad fats who sleep alone at night. It's what it's designed to do. It's designed to track one body in a bed. So when you have 3 bodies in a bed, I think a lot of Alarmo's charm disappears. The other thing that I thought was interesting about Ozzy's review is his dog Bucky like would stare it down, like did not trust the Alarmo at all. So the dog could sense that the Alarmo was looking at it.
Wow.
It's such a weird product, you guys. Like, I don't know. I haven't even set mine up yet. I'm wondering if I should just keep it in the box.
Do you need an alarm clock?
Do I need an alarm clock? Yes. But I have an alarm clock. And it's one of those $10 ones you buy at CVS that goes bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. General Electric.
Maybe. I'll have to look. But
or Sanyo.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it could be them. And then I do use my phone alarm, but it's usually too quiet or your phone can run out of battery, so it's not really reliable. The main reason I don't want to use this is like I sleep terribly. I have very bad sleep and I don't need a device to tell me how bad my sleep is. So I'm like, even though I'm the perfect candidate, as I have a giant ass bed that I sleep in by myself, I'm like, I don't want Nintendo to start telling me how bad I'm sleeping.
So at this point, you could go to sleep and place your phone on your bed so that Pokemon Sleep will monitor it. And then you could wake up to Nintendo Alarmo and then use a Pokemon Teeth and go brush your teeth and get rewards for their...
And then Pokemon go to the polls.
Yep,
that's right. And when you get back from the polls, pop in Ring Fit.
Yeah, do a little Ring Fit. Yeah, they've got...
You guys forgot to mention that my Apple Watch is tracking if I have sleep apnea or not.
Oh, gosh. What's the verdict there?
We're covered. I think you can keep it in the box, it sounds like.
Yeah, Ozzy reviewed it, so I'm like, I don't really need to open it. And I don't know, maybe if I ever get to a normal sleeping pattern, maybe I'll unbox it. But like the other thing that would get me to like instantly use it is if they added F-Zero music and sounds to it.
Right.
That would just be a no-brainer. They do have the Guardian noise from Breath of the Wild in it. When you hit snooze too many times, Joe, the Guardians come out.
They get mad.
So I like that. The other thing I think is really interesting about this product is like in America, you cannot buy Nintendo soundtracks for any of their games. It's like super rare. So this is like one of the only places where you can consume Nintendo music outside of a game. So I think it's kind of neat. And they did that with Ultimate, right? They had this like jukebox in Ultimate because I had 100 songs. So yeah, I don't know. I want Nintendo to let me buy soundtracks to video games. Because I would buy the Tears of the Kingdom soundtrack in like a heartbeat.
If I could, first of all, I didn't even think of the fact that you can't buy Nintendo soundtracks typically, but now I'm envisioning like Pokemon soundtracks on vinyl with those cover arts blown up on like a sleeve. That'd be beautiful. I would go broke on those. That'd be so cool.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm like, I've actually asked Nintendo PR about this. I'm like, why don't you sell soundtracks? And they never really give me a real answer, but like, I think it's like when I think about Nintendo games, I almost always have a song in my head. Right? Like you think of Mario, there's a song in your head, or Zelda, there's a song in your head.
They don't want the music to be divorced from the experience of playing the game, you know?
Exactly. It's like it's almost, it's like, New Donk City, that, like that first, that first playthrough with Jump Up Superstar and like the
Magical.
2D.
So good.
That is so much cooler in the game than if you just listen to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it. But like, racing games, like I would buy the Mario Kart soundtrack. It's amazing. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just hope they make more weird sound devices. Like, if they made a toaster, I would buy it. I would buy a Nintendo toaster, like, tomorrow. If
Sure.
they put that on there. So,
burn little
it doesn't have to watch me when I sleep or anything. Wait, sorry, what was it?
It could burn, like, Link's face on your toast.
Yeah. I had a Darth Vader toaster that did that.
There's a Destiny toaster that does that.
Or like a Triforce toaster. Like, come on. Wow. Nintendo, Doug Bowser, we know you're listening because you gave us like a year's worth of F-Zero 99 updates. Thanks, Doug. But like, yeah.
Oh, wow. He's messaging me on the ticker right now.
Oh, nice.
He says, hey, big fan.
Love him.
Congratulations, Asif, on the Metacritic victory.
I was going to say, was he playing along?
Yeah, he did really poorly. Because he doesn't play Xbox or PlayStation games.
Yeah, very few of those games released on Switch this year.
It's a light year.
Way to go, Doug.
So he just told me that there's a way. Okay, he just said that there's a way to rip the music off of the Super Smash Brothers cart, but he doesn't want to say it on the ticker. He'll DM you.
Oh,
okay. I fear he's already.
I know how. Come on. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. I know how to pirate music. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Nintendo's leaving money on the table, and SoundClock Alarmo, maybe. You know what's really funny about this? We'll move on to the other reviews here in a second. I was talking to my friend who lives in Japan yesterday night, and he was telling me his wife told him about Alarmo before he read the news. And he's like a geek, and he's always on Twitter, so he knows news when it hits usually. His wife was like, we should buy one. And he was like, no, fuck. He's like, no, it's $100. We cannot buy this thing. But it was just funny. Like, she's not really a hardcore gamer at all. And she was like instantly like, we need this when she saw the Alarmo. So I think it's cool. I think it's going to be like a good, I don't know if it's stocking stuffer price, but it will fit in a stocking.
A wealthy family.
Yeah, I guess a wealthy family stocking stuffer for a regular family. Maybe it's a cool gift. But I think it is a little pricey at $100. Is there a price that you guys would buy this at, or is this just not for you?
$40.
That's probably just not for me. I my iPhone alarm works well enough, and I could probably go into settings and make it play the Pokemon theme or whatever if I really wanted to. But
$40, and I gave it to my kids.
I think it's neat.
$40. Yeah, they must be making a decent margin on these things.
I'm sure they sold out right at a Nintendo New York.
They sold out in Nintendo New York, and they've sold out twice at Nintendo Tokyo. So it's selling pretty well, which is hilarious. I just hope Nintendo makes more weird things. I like weird things being made by Nintendo. They're a better company when they do this. Yeah, even though occasionally you get total duds, like the Power Glove or whatever. Like occasionally you get some of them.
This part of them is not going to die, right? I mean, it was a couple of years ago they did Labo. I mean, that was probably more than a couple of years at this point. But they did like something strange.
That was when God of War came out. They did Labo.
Yeah, it was early Switch.
They're like, PlayStation used God of War. Nintendo uses cardboard. Same day. They're weird like that. But yeah, I think Ozzy's review was a little biased because he lives a happy life with a wife and dog. So maybe if I ever do open it, I'll give like the sad fat review of the Nintendo Alarmo. I've seen a lot of people on my feed who have it and are enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's clearly a product for Nintendo fans. You know, be like the diehards
for sure. Which I am one, but yeah, I'm not. I don't know. Might not be for me. We'll see.
Oh, you know what, Asif? Speaking of your feed, I'm using Blue Sky these days, and I noticed that Shack News isn't posting.
No,
it's true.
Well, I wish you would.
Why?
Because that's the only place I would see it.
Why don't you go to our website? You built it.
Oh yeah.
Like, please bring your. Okay, here's a question. You're on Blue Sky. Sorry, we've derailed, but like you're on Blue Sky. Why? What is there?
Well, here's the short answer is I miss Twitter, but I don't want now Twitter. And this is a bit of a throwback. It feels like 2011 Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, there's a noticeable lack of people saying racist things under viral tweets on any other platform than Twitter. So I mean, it's got that going for it. But
Donovan,
where it's
you gotta go to Instagram and look at the comments, dude. They're the same people.
Instagram's terrible, especially like on sports accounts. I've noticed it's unreadable.
It's real bad over there.
But yeah, I think Blue Sky's selling point isn't even what it does have; it's what it doesn't have, which is
right.
Elon Musk and also just bots spamming.
I guess my beef, like everyone's like, oh, I hate Elon Musk Twitter. I hated Twitter before. Like they've been dicks to me for years. Like I've been shadow banned and throttled. People used to get warnings when I retweeted them. Like I know you've gotten one, Donovan, but like they would get warnings that I retweeted them. So like this whole like, oh, the good old days of Twitter. No, there were never good old days of Twitter. Twitter's success was a complete mistake. The people in charge are fucking idiots, or were. Jack Dorsey, for instance, or Dan Costello, like the previous CEOs. I was a shareholder of Twitter. I've had a Twitter account since 2006, and I think that Twitter will survive Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk will give up on Twitter at some point.
I do too.
And is Barack Obama on Blue Sky?
Let's find out.
I have no clue.
Because I can engage in a conversation with Shaquille O'Neal and Barack Obama and Eve Six and all these random things on Twitter. I don't think that network can be recreated. And it's not like people want to do that on Facebook. It's not like you can replace it with Threads, and you can't do it on Instagram. It's like, I know that the gamer discourse and the games media discourse has kind of decided that Blue Sky is it. It's just not for me. Like, my whole thing is like, if Twitter really dies, I'm not going to try to build a new following somewhere else. I don't care. It's just done. But like, how many people, Donovan, you've been here long enough to know this answer.
Mm.
How often do people click on hyperlinks on Twitter or other social media platforms?
Very rarely.
Do you think that Blue Sky is going to magically have a better click-through rate? No, because no one wants to actually read articles anymore. They just want whatever brought straight to them on all these other platforms. I just don't see, no one has been like, what are your Blue Sky numbers? When we're trying to get access to something, no one has asked us, oh, where's your Blue Sky? It's you're the first person to ask me for that.
That was a little tongue in cheek.
But no, we're not. No, I have beef with past management and present management at Twitter. Twitter was not some magical platform before. There were still a lot of bad actors. Now, every single thing that Elon Musk has done has made it worse.
Yeah,
no doubt. And I understand the missing Twitter and wanting a replacement. I mean, I built my own replacement on Shaq News for that reason. And no one uses it because Barack Obama's not there and Shaquille O'Neal's not there. And you can't complain about your airline on Shaq News Cortex and get a customer service rep in your DMs. You know what I mean? Like, Twitter's value is in that network. And it is definitely gone down because people are leaving or less active on the platform. But it still is a network that is much larger than a lot of its other competitors. And I just don't think people care if you mention them on Facebook. But people look at their mentions on Twitter. I think that's the main difference at this point. But yeah, like, I understand not wanting to support Elon Musk. I get that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even go that deeply. I feel like
it's unpleasant to be there.
I feel like, I just don't like signing on. I don't feel like I'm reading things in a feed that is presented for my betterment. I feel manipulated, So
when I'm on the following tab, I feel like I still see a little of my old Twitter, but my engagement has fallen off a cliff. Like, I'm not shown on people's For You tabs or anything. So like, yeah, I get it. But like, there are people I know only through Twitter, like people on Earth who I've met through Twitter or whatever. And like, I'm not leaving. I'll leave when it dies. But I think the death of Twitter will be a story. So that's why I'll be there. But yeah, I've seen a lot of my favorite accounts leave, but none of them have told me, hey, go follow me on Blue Sky. They just left.
Yeah.
They're just gone. They're not active on social media anymore. That's what I think's happening here. And the idea of just trying to build a new audience again just it's not appealing to me, especially given the management of that other platform. We've had just as many people ask us for Shaq News on Threads as we have Shaq News on Blue Sky, which is basically one or two people. Anyway, that was a nice tangent.
Yeah, thank you.
And look, if you're going to be active on social, go for it. But I don't know. I'm active on the Shaq News socials more than I am on my own personal. And even just yesterday, like, we'll move on here in a second, but just yesterday, like, it was a good example of how far Twitter has fallen. Like, the value of Twitter to me, and like I mentioned, I used to invest in the company. I thought that the value was in being a crowdsourced real-time search engine. Like, to me, that was the value. If something was happening, NBA Finals, stock market event, you could just search for that thing and you would see people talking about it, or you'd see a video. Famously, Twitter and Facebook, I believe, were the first two platforms to report on the Boston Marathon bombing, like 15 minutes before media outlets. That was an example of the value of the platform.
Right.
And I think it's lost a lot of that. And I think the blue check markification of Twitter has hurt it. I think that Elon Musk's definition of free speech has hurt it. Like, there's all these things that have hurt it, but I just don't think that can be recreated, because I don't think it was intentional. I think Twitter was a mistake, which is why it's going to be impossible to recreate, even by the people who made it. That's what's really wild about it. Anyway, Lucas reviewed Romancing Saga 2, Revenge of the Seven. He really liked it.
Yeah.
Gave it a 9 out of 10.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
Permadeath in that one.
Yes. He said there's tons of gratifying character building systems, lots of effort put into making the game approachable and easier to dive into. Certain tricky elements are still in place despite the streamlining. The only negative he had was that it lacks the hardcore sense of surprise and discovery that the original had. But yeah, what a great time for RPGs.
Great time for RPGs, also deeply overwhelming, because I feel like they're going to start passing me by.
There are just literally too many.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure how to play all of them.
This game was not on my radar, but looking at Luke's review and learning that it has a permadeath mechanic, which I think that's always fun. I'm like, ooh, I want to play this, but I'm like, there's things coming down the pipe that are going to take precedent over this game, so I don't know when. But
well, luckily you got Metaphor out of the way already. Like, I'm looking at this and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to play this game like before the end of the year. I'm like, I don't have time for this.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that Lucas did, because we got a sweet review out of it. And they seem pretty happy with it too. I saw that they retweeted us.
Nice.
Sweet.
So Digital Eclipse just tweeted out our review. Sweet.
That's awesome.
You know, that's the other thing going on, is like, it seems like Twitter's not dead yet.
No, it's not.
There's still like, I don't know, like there's still a grassroots Twitter out there. Like there's F-Zero Twitter. There's like, I don't know, is horror Twitter still there, Donovan? Like horror movie fans?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I follow a couple horror
They're still out there.
I
think Black Twitter is still alive and well and has been carrying Twitter for its existence. You know what I mean? Like, they're not, I don't see people leaving. Like, I think a lot of those groups are staying. So for me, most of my time on Twitter now, unfortunately, is spent blocking people so that they won't show up on my feed or they won't show up in my comments. That's the part that you're right about, Joe, is that does not exist elsewhere. At least as violent and as angry. Anyway, sorry. Ozzy reviewed the Jackbox Survey Scramble.
What is even
which
that?
Is like, just make You Don't Know Jack, guys. What are we doing?
Yeah. They kind of let me down this year. I know this is a different game, but they did like the Naughty Pack this year, which was supposed to be their long requested, like, you know, adult version of it. And from Ozzy's review, it seemed like it was pretty samey. I was like, okay, if you're gonna do that, you should have swung.
I think they need to go live service with this.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if I think I mentioned that when we were talking about the other one. But yeah, Ozzy gave this an 8 out of 10. So it's easy to learn and play, quick sessions, surveys stay in rotation to keep the game fresh. Squares and bounces stands out as a especially fun mini game. There are not ways to extend the sessions, and speed mode can be dull. 8 out of 10. So it's not super bad or anything, but I don't know. I kind of want to get back to the magic. It feels like they've lost some of that. I think the annual reviews of this is probably a problem.
Yep.
Moving on, Lucas reviewed Wizardry Variants Daphne, which is a mobile game? Yes. Right? No?
Yeah, I think it is. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Like, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it's got the Modojo at Shack News tag. Dumber investment. Buying a Tesla Roadster? Nah, we'll get to that later. Or buying Modojo. It does have gotcha microtransaction stuff, but that's in like every mobile game these days. It does have permadeath, and it involves real money, so that kind of sucks.
Oh.
Right? Like, you can lose your bought items. Yeah, I don't know about that. That seems predatory compared to like most gacha games. Anyway, it's out there. Got an 8 out of 10. This Zero Sievert game. Sorry, what?
I gave you a summary because I didn't know if you would know, because I certainly have no idea what that is. So
I am the one who greenlit the review, so I know what it is.
Okay, sweet.
It kind of looks like Smash TV. Top down shoot 'em up kind of thing, but also has like some Hotline Miami kind of vibes to it. I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah, it seems cool as hell. Before we send any of these reviews out to freelancers, Joe, Bill and I have a conversation and we look at the trailer and we're like, "This is worth covering." So yeah, that's how I know about every freaking game that comes out. And also, I'm the guy who posts trailers a lot of the time to Shack News Social, and every PR agency on Earth has found that out. So now I just get every trailer in my email box. So I'm not complaining, though. It's cool. But yeah, got a 9 out of 10 from Josh Broadwell. Said excellent map design, and it's procedurally generated, so there's some replay value to that. Strong balance of risk-reward, detailed and varied weapon build options, customizable difficulty options, so you can make it easier, which I think in a shoot 'em up is a good quality of life thing to add. He did mention it's annoying that you can't adjust difficulty between sessions, so you have to like start over if you want to play it on easier or harder. And only the advanced skills have something interesting to offer, was another complaint. But 9 out of 10, he said it kind of, weapon customization is exceptional and resembles something closer to Call of Duty than what you might expect from what a glance kind of looks at like a Vampire Survivors game. Yeah, it's got like a really in-depth inventory management system that kind of looks like PUBG. Like where you're managing space in your pack and like you have a primary, secondary weapon, you have armor, you have like another power item. I don't know, it seems cool. Zero Sievert. Or Sievert. And then, last but not least, we got a good Sonic game.
Wow.
So, actually, we got a good Sonic game remake, but we got a Shadow game that's good. Sonic X Shadow Generations is out. Lucas just out here reviewing things for Shack News. Reviewed it, gave it an 8 out of 10. I love this pro in his review. This game says Shadow the Hedgehog is the coolest and best with its whole chest. Shadow Generations is some of the best 3D Sonic action to date, and the soundtrack whips on both sides. Cons are that Sonic Generations flaws stand out next to the Shadow Generations high quality gameplay. 2D Sonic especially drops the ball, and a fumbly learning curve for Shadow's full toolset. There are a lot of different Shadow Doom powers. There's he has like spears. He has this one that he's kind of like flying around. I don't know. It looks cool as hell. And it runs pretty well, at least on PlayStation. I'm always curious with how these games run on Switch, because Nintendo fans love playing Sonic games until you buy Frontiers for Switch. And from what I've seen, I haven't seen any pop-in the PS5 version of this, and that was a problem on the PS5 version of Frontiers. And it's really egregious to have that kind of pop-in a Sonic game, because you're going so goddamn fast that not being able to see what you're doing next is just bad. So it's strange that we're sitting here with an 8 out of 10 for a better game than Frontiers, which got a 9 out of 10 at Shack News, but here we are. But to be fair, our reviewer of Frontiers did not play the Switch version. They were not giving out review keys for that for some reason. So that's reviews though. Some bangers in there. I would say Romancing Saga 2 and Sonic and Zero Sievert, all games people should be checking out. And if you like the Jackbox games, they're there. And if you need an alarm clock that watches you while you sleep, you can get an Alarmo. Doesn't literally watch you. There's no camera. Just senses you. Newsa. It's time for Newsa, Joe.
Thank you.
Metal Slug Tactics got a release date next month. You excited?
I am.
Nope.
Wow. Two sides of the coin here.
I've never played that series, but
Same.
But you like tactics games.
Some, yeah. I have gotten more into those in recent years. So
you might like this one.
Maybe I would.
This is interesting to me because I like Metal Slug and I like tactics games, so this seems interesting. I feel like we've been talking about this game, Joe, for like 5 years.
Totally. Yep.
I want to say we interviewed them at our last E3 booth, Donovan. I might be wrong, but like, I feel like we've been talking about this since pre-COVID era, like back in the old E3 days. Remember E3, you guys?
Uh-huh.
And then Joe finally got his wish. The Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown team has been disbanded by Ubisoft. They confirmed that. But it was
finally stop campaigning.
It's random though, because they at the same time they announced that they're working on a Rayman game, and that some of these people from The Lost Crown are going to work on that. So that's good news.
It is good news, yeah.
I love Rayman Legends, and I want another. I would argue Rayman Legends is one of the best Wii U games.
Yeah, I think I agree.
It's like in the top 10. Right there with like Tropical Freeze. Like there was some great platforming on that system. But Tropical Freeze and Rayman Legends. More release date news. Marvel's Spider-Man 2. I think that's your first 10 out of 10 review, right, Donovan?
It might have been. I can't recall exactly. But it might be.
It comes to PC in January.
That's pretty cool. I'm just curious what people do with mods in that game. Also, that announcement was a bit of a two-hander, I guess, because they also announced that they're not doing DLC. I guess they not in that blog post. It was buried several paragraphs in. So
that's a bummer.
Yeah,
but maybe that means they're hard at work on Wolverine or something. Like they don't have time for this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Insomniac's not a stupid studio. I'm sure they're doing what's best for their games.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens, but not great that it's not new content, but for the people playing it on PC, if you didn't experience the game, it's awesome. So
sure,
I hope it runs well. I hope people enjoy it. I really love that game. It's great. More bad news. Why are you doing this to me, Joe?
Sorry.
Netflix has a Southern California, or had a Southern California game studio that they're shutting down. They were known as Team Blue, and it had like a all-star cast of devs, like Halo's Joseph Staten, dev from Overwatch, and also someone from Sony Santa Monica.
Yeah. We covered the formation of the studio and a couple of their like splashier hires. Like Joe Staten was a big one. I was really curious to see what they were going to make, because a AAA game from a Netflix created studio seemed interesting. I didn't know. I was wondering if they do like an IP or something, but it's a bummer that it's not going to come to fruition.
It's not a bummer when an indie studio sells 20 million units of their game.
That's true.
Hazelight Studios, fuck you Hollywood, Joseph Ferris's studio, has sold 20 million units of It Takes Two.
Yeah.
And so they're working on a new game.
It's also worth considering that, if I'm remembering this correctly, when you bought It Takes Two, you had like a pass to like let a friend play with you.
Yep.
Like you didn't have to buy 2 copies to play that game.
Correct. You could play it co-op online if only one of you owned it.
That's awesome.
Which is like kind of harkens back to like the Game Boy Connection days. Like, you could do that. Yeah, with some Game Boy games.
I mean, that's how it was like as a kid, right? If your friend owned a game, you pretty much owned it because you guys play together. You borrow it or whatever. That's that's not really a thing with co-op games these days.
No, that's a great game.
It is.
And I'm happy for them that they're succeeding, and they're rolling it over to another project. And it really feels like he was spurned by Hollywood, but we love him here in the games community. So keep it coming. I can't wait for the awkward interview between Joseph Ferris and Jeff Keighley at the Game Awards this year. It'll be great. Okay, do you guys like the Banjo-Kazooie series?
I only like nuts and bolts, but yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's weird.
I don't have any real take with that series. I played the first one when Rare Replay came out, but that was about it. I didn't grow up with them.
Well, Banjo-Tooie is coming to Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack. It's actually, it'll be out tomorrow. So Friday, the 25th, it's going to be on there. But it's only for people who have Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack, right? The N64 app is where this will be. This was coupled with news that Aaron Greenberg from Microsoft said no one cares about the Banjo-Kazooie franchise, and he proceeded to get dog walked all over Twitter. So there are a lot of Banjo fans. I think there's an overlap of Donkey Kong and Banjo fans. because same studio made these games. It was basically, I think it went Banjo-Kazooie, then Donkey Kong 64, then Banjo-Tooie. And like Donkey Kong 64 was like effectively a sequel to Banjo-Kazooie, just in the gameplay was very similar. The engine was similar. It was just a bigger, crazier collectathon. Tooie is not as good, I don't think. But it's just cool to see just how much, like, I know it's been like a leaky faucet, like drip drop of releases on Switch Online, but if you go and open any of those apps now, you have a nice library available to you. Now, not all of them run well. They're not localized if you're talking about Japanese builds, but feels like the library is getting better, even though I still prefer the virtual console to this whole era that we're in. But I don't think this is going away. I think we're going to have these apps available to us on the next Switch. So there's your newsa. On to Storytime Industruza.
Yes.
Industry news brought to you by Shaq Newsa. Boy, howdy, is this Tesla heavy. We'll get to Tesla here in a second. 2K motion capture workers file for a union election. I think this is the first time motion capture actors and performers are trying to unionize in the games industry. So that's cool, because you consider how many hours they work trying to get the right fall or the right jump. Or there's a wrestler, LA Knight. You guys know LA Knight at all?
I know the name.
Somewhere Ozzy's listening to this and he's in his car or whatever and he's going, yeah, because that's what that guy does. LA Knight was like the performance capture guy for most of WWE's wrestlers in their games. So it's like funny. He was like doing impersonations of people, basically.
That's funny.
But it'd be really talented to do that. Mm-hmm. And that's just work, man. Like that's they deserve whatever they're asking for there.
Yep. Well, 2K put out a statement today, one that they shared with us, and I won't read the whole thing, but they did say, we feel that we are best served addressing these challenges and changing needs together through our existing feedback channels rather than through a union. So
that's not good.
No.
So there's going to be there might be a labor stoppage. We'll see, and we'll support them if they do it, because we want workers to get paid more. Speaking of horrible tech companies that would probably not like unions, Wall Street Journal and New York Post have sued Perplexity AI over content use, basically stealing their information, and in some cases getting around paywalls to do it. So yeah, I don't know. Just another day of an AI company stealing people's content. But
there's some blowback, which that wasn't necessarily a common headline.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good.
There's blowback. What do you mean, from Perplexity or from AI fans?
No, neither. I'm saying there's I use the word reckoning with you, which is definitely overstating it for sure. But I'm saying there's some like asking the question like, yo, this isn't cool, which needs to happen and hadn't been happening at large. And there's been a couple stories, including this one in the past couple days, that point to businesses being more aware now of how, they're sort of being hijacked. And, I'm interested to see legislation that's kind of going to have to be born out of these problems and what's next.
I agree. I do want to see, I want to see regulation. I just don't think we're going to get it in 2024 because it's an election year and no one wants to take their chances. But I think I don't know. I don't think the reckoning's here yet, but what I see happening is AI companies are going to acquire media companies so that they don't have to worry about this. AI companies are going to become parent companies of media organizations. And maybe, if they're smart, they'll use those people to help fact check stuff. But like, the thing that I haven't understood about how AI is going to replace all of us writers is like, I don't know. Let's say Donovan's reviewing, I don't know, GTA 8. Like, can AI do that? No. AI can summarize his review, but like, it's a chicken and the egg thing. I've talked about it a lot, and I think that's what this Wall Street Journal, New York Post thing is too. Like, I actually dislike both of those media outlets now. Wall Street Journal's really gone to shit, and New York Post is like
terrible.
One of the worst. So it's funny to see that these are the two companies that are doing this. But yeah, like I think there's a it's like the pendulum has swung one way and now it's going to come back the other way, and people are going to realize that content still matters, because if all of your source material becomes Reddit posts, you're fucked.
There's some optimism I've developed very recently when it comes to this technology. It's seeing the blowback, for lack of a better word, just seeing like hey, you can't do this. That is heartwarming, and like, you know, the content owners are right to call it out, and there's going to have to be some ramification. Well, you know, we're not sure what that'll look like or what shape it will take, but there's an inevitability there of some kind. The second thing is replacing media, replacing journalists, even to be even more pointed about it, is such like the first blush. Look at this new tech. What can we do with it? It writes, so we can replace writers. That concept is such the like nascent, infantile way of thinking about what AI can do. Mm-hmm. And I will briefly give you an example of what AI can do that is largely good. And this is me ignoring all like the energy usage stuff, which, admittedly needs to be figured out. Cause if it's not sustainable, then it's not sustainable. But when I'm programming and I'm in Visual Studio Code, Microsoft's platform, and they've got their Copilot running in the background, and I'm typing a line of code in JavaScript, and Copilot is anticipating what I'm going to type next. It's like an autofill, like we're all used to seeing, but it's intelligent, and it is, and it's often very right because it's finding patterns in code, and code is built on patterns, whereas like a story isn't necessarily. Mm-hmm. The application of Copilot on coding, on programming, is a safer application versus replacing a journalist. To your point, like how is Perplexity going to review GTA 8 versus can Perplexity determine when I'm going to call this variable a Boolean, based on context clues? It's pretty right so far, and there's not a whole lot of theft going on. It's just pattern detection. And so I think I just go back to this, like replacing journalists, replacing media, AI as the replacement for big media. It's just kind of an infantile idea. And and if I'm optimistic, I could just see us at large growing out of that notion that that's possible. So I do hope this is a moment in time, I guess is what I'm saying.
I think that in markets like this, you'll see an over adoption early in the S curve, and then a bunch of harsh, rash decisions being made, and then there's going to be a flat line on the other side of this. So I think we're in the parabolic move upwards in AI spending and the bullishness on AI and all that stuff. But to me, I think that automation is the scarier prospect for labor than everything else. So it's like, if they can automate the writing of news articles based on press releases, then yes, a lot of journalists' jobs will be replaced. But opinion pieces, features, reviews, guides, like how to get the Master Sword, I don't think an LLM out there, or even DeepMind, could figure out how to get the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom without source material. So that's why you keep mentioning pattern recognition. I don't consider pattern recognition to be intelligence. That's just a factor of training. So it's like, I agree with that this idea of artificial intelligence in its current state is that. What they're all selling us is artificial general intelligence, something where AI will get so smart that it could start creating its own stuff. That's the snake oil, in my opinion.
Sure.
But yeah, we're gonna finish this up because Diamond has to go do Pop Goes the Culture. Oh, a lot of Tesla shit came out. Okay, so Blade Runner 2049's producer sued Tesla and Warner Brothers for using AI images to like make this like hypothetical Blade Runner screenshot of the cybercab and some dude standing next to it. Mm. Tesla and Warner Brothers, I can't think of a more cursed combination.
Yeah.
It's not surprised me that they were trying to cut corners there.
It's also funny because Warner Brothers distributed Blade Runner 2049 in theaters and on home video when it came out. Now they're being sued by the production company.
Good. Just good. Yeah. Also, Tesla full self-driving, which isn't really full self-driving. It's called supervised full self-driving these days. features a NHTSA, that's the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. They have a probe into the safety of full self-driving following a fatal collision. Tesla is also out with earnings yesterday. Their stock is up 20% today. That's a lot. That's like $100 billion. So that's crazy.
Wow.
They beat EPS expectations. They missed on revenue. $739 million of their earnings came from tax credits, which is quite odd given that Elon Musk is so against the Democrats who signed the bill to create the $739 million tax windfall that you had. Speaking of that, Elon Musk's $1 million giveaway in Pennsylvania for people registering to vote and signing up for his super PAC mailing list. It might be illegal, said the Justice Department. So stay tuned, find out. Tesla also claims that they will begin launching more affordable cars in 2025. I don't believe that. Tesla's Q3 2024 automotive revenues were only 2% higher from the previous year. So you're talking about a company that was growing at like 60, 50, 80% year over year for multiple years. 2% growth is not great. They blamed it on average selling price decreases. The cost of buying a car went up, cost of borrowing, all that stuff. They've implemented a 0% APR car loan program as of this week for purchasing their cars. Another weird one, Cybertruck production achieved a positive gross margin during the quarter. That's ahead of schedule, in my opinion. I don't know who the hell's buying these Cybertrucks, but it was actually the third best-selling EV in America last quarter.
Yeah.
With number 1 and 2 being Tesla Model Y and Tesla Model 3. So they have 3 of the top EVs in America right now.
I see them everywhere, man. They're everywhere.
Cybertruck?
Yeah.
Or just Teslas?
Cybertruck.
That's scary.
Yeah, I see a handful of them now in Baltimore.
We just have the one in Canton, and everyone points and laughs at him. But yeah, they're not losing money on it, so that's surprising. Another surprising thing is Tesla employees are already testing the full self-driving ride-hailing app, where you can just call a car and it'll drive to you and pick you up and drive you places. So it's like the Uber competitor. They've been beta testing that since January. Musk said that Cybercab is not going to have a steering wheel or pedals.
That's going to make me feel really safe.
I sure hope
I will never buy that car.
Wow.
I will never buy that car. I'll tell you that much. I want a steering wheel in my car. I like driving.
Yeah.
I don't want a car that I don't drive. Elon also gave like a ridiculous, he said 20 to 30% growth in vehicle production next year. So that implies something is coming next year. The market obviously believed all of his snake oil sales. Also, we'll get to that in the community notes. So yeah, that's a quick look at the Tesla earnings. Those are all the stories. Let's hit our community notes and get out of here. Oh yeah, Texas Instruments beat on revenue and EPS. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Mm-hmm. Good for them. We cover all the semiconductor news. So if you want to see the earnings news, we have all that covered at Shack News. Go check it out. We have a few questions and comments from the Shack News community, which you can join by heading over to shacknews.com/chatty or by emailing us at, donovan.erskine@shacknews.com. Have you got any emails, Donovan? Do people know how to spell your name?
I don't think I've gotten one unless I mistook it for a PR email. I don't think I've gotten any Shack Together.
There's some like Donovan Erskine out there who's getting all these Shack Together emails. It's like, what the hell's going on? RMS Squires replied on YouTube, "The people demand more TJ game streaming." So yeah,
on Twitch.
I think so. Yeah,
I feel like TJ's pretty active on Twitch. Him and Steve have to be our top streaming people.
Yeah, not enough.
Yeah, Jan's in the
Jan's up there.
That's fair. It's not enough.
And then Evil Danish on the chatty, I think in reply to one of our Tesla articles yesterday, said, "Geez, has it been 7 years since Tesla took orders on the Roadster? At what point are they in breach of contract?" Elon Musk referred to me on the conference call as a long-suffering Tesla Roadster reservation holder and then laughed about it. I don't know what to say, man. I fucking hate the guy. I'm never buying another Tesla as long as he's the CEO.
Yeah.
But can you imagine, just real quick, can you imagine Steve Jobs doing any of this shit? this here, come to LA for this event where we show you prototype products. Like, no, this is all, he's selling you a future. He's like, this is the future. We're not going to have parking lots. It's like, yes, we're going to have fucking parking lots. Where are you going to put all these driverless cars when you're done driving them?
Mm-hmm.
So stupid. Anyway, yeah, it's been 7 years since I bought a $250,000 car from Tesla, and they still have not delivered it, shown us anything about it, or even emailed me. So I want to know how they treat their early adopter customers. That's how they treat us.
Yeah.
But yeah, go buy the stock. It's up 20% today. Right. It's because people believe him. That's all that is. The numbers weren't that great. But maybe some of it was priced in too, because they announced their delivery numbers on the first of the month every quarter. So some of this was priced in, I guess. And then we have a branded Haas Mamu corner.
Ooh.
Where he said TJ is literally a game changer because of his high speed internet speeds. That's accurate. He did change the game. He's changed that. Joe has done all this.
His success led to a changing of the rules. He's like an Allen Iverson kind of a impact here.
That's right.
I think it's more like when Tom Brady tuck rule.
That's another good one. Yeah.
It's more like that. Anyway,
they say TJ should have lost.
I'm glad you got that. But that's going to do it for today's show. Subscribe on your podcast app of choice and tune in every Friday for more Shack Together. And if you listen this far, you probably liked our podcast. Why not give us a review or go to the local podcast facility and vote for Shack Together and tell them that we're better than the Joe Rogan Experience.
Amen.
Or something. And then Spotify will give us money or something, right?
Well, they're tied up in Joe Rogan, so maybe Shopify will pick us up.
We're going to be the first Shopify podcast.
$100 million contract. Okay.
Shacker actually created Shopify.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll do it.
Thank you. Thanks, Donovan.
Thanks for being here, Donovan, to take that L. I appreciate it. I would also appreciate it if you could make the Baltimore Ravens less likable. Like, I like everyone on your team, but I hate your team. So if you could fix that, that'd be great.
After we win the Super Bowl, I got you.
Can you check the ticker if they're going to do that, if he's actually full of shit or not?
It's coming in real slow. It says Donovan's a liar. Huh?
Yeah.
Oh.
And also, like, are they still calling it the Shack News Extended Podcast Universe? The CPU?
Last I heard.
Yeah, it says Shack News Extended Podcast Pooniverse. And an unfortunate typo there. But I think we know what it meant.
And they probably don't pay the $8 for our Shack News ticker blue.
No, they don't. Which would have caught that typo, and then we would okay. But
one of my friends paid for Twitter. He has a blue check mark, and I was giving him shit about it last night. And he's like, "I use it for Grok," and I'm like, "Are you serious, dude?"
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. It's that meme, the guy pointing. He's like, "This motherfucker paid for Twitter."
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting real close to trolling every one of his tweets with that image. This is like my best friend too, so I'm like, oh, why would you do this? He started liking my tweets, and I'm like, oh no, a blue check mark liked my tweets, and I'm like, oh, I know him. Just real quick, here's the last thing I'll say before we go. His go-to move is to take whatever we've been talking about and put it into Grok's AI image generation, and then send them back to the group chat.
Oh Jesus, that's so cursed.
Quite a workflow.
So yesterday we were talking about NVIDIA and Nancy Pelosi, so you can take it from there.
Yep.
That'll do it for the show, though. So thanks for listening, everybody. And this will go live tonight because we didn't talk about anything too bad.
We're in the safe zone, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Thanks, Donovan. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'll never forget you.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack Together is a Shack News production.
Shack News is a multimedia company consisting of a variety of entertainment properties, including ShackNews.com, video game and cutting-edge technology coverage with evergreen video, guide, and long-read content. providing readers and viewers with the latest reviews, previews, interviews, and news. Shack News content is readable and viewable at shacknews.com, Facebook, YouTube at Shack News Interviews, and Shack News VODs, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Shack News Media, Twitch, and more. But that's not all. You can play Bubbletron, our first video game. Combine 3 ideas, hit the market, and get your money hat. Bubbletron is a daily game in the style of Wordle where players can launch a company and see its valuation instantly. Hit that high score and brag to your friends. Visit Bubbletron.com to play. There is no download required, no signups required, but if you are into app downloads, we have the cutest one on the planet. It's called Shack Pets, the ultimate battle for cuteness. Swipe your pets to victory on iOS and Android in this Tinder-like app for pets. Shack News is proud to present a variety of micro products, all available for free at shacknews.com. Cortex is a publishing platform available to all of our users. Shouts is a Twitter replacement in a time where Twitter really needs replacing. And Reader, an RSS reader that won't get shut down by Google anytime soon. You can import YouTube, subreddits, all sorts of cool stuff, even podcast feeds. And lastly, all of our products are completely free to use and play, so if you're a fan of what we're doing and want to support the Shack News ecosystem, head over to shacknews.com/Mercury. Mercury offers subscribers access to exclusive Shack News swag like hoodies and VIP access to our long reads in downloadable format. It's a great way to support us. There's different tiers, and you get a lightning bolt next to your name.